All right. So Mount Yerbutsk. What's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello?
Oh,
Hello? 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 Hello?
holy shit. Hello? Is my mic okay? Wait, can you hear me? Wait, I don't think...
V.
Oh. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up?
Yo, it's only push to talk, right?
No, it's toggle. You can like set it to toggle in the
Oh.
options if it's
Oh yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's toggle. Nice.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, cool.
I might gotta turn you down a little bit though. Can you like adjust individual volume?
Let me check.
Your mic like peaked super fucking hard there.
Let's see here. Sound. Oh. Is that better?
No.
Okay, what about now?
No. No, not really.
What about now?
Try again? You were like kind of cutting out.
Hello? Testing. 1, 2.
Yeah, it seems okay now. Oh yeah, I think maybe the last time we played, we just used Discord because I think the in-game was like scuffed. So. We can see if it's better now though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Get your fucking ass on this side.
Oh!
Do you fucking mind?
Oh, it's good to be back.
Yeah, true. True.
So, did you have fun today, Ella?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Mm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing math.
Okay, hold up. Oh my god.
Can we actually, like,
Turn you
slide
guys
down? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
ride.
you can.
Oh, shit. Yo, that's actually sick.
Can I turn you guys down on your own?
Well, I think we should just go to Discord, to be fair.
Probably.
I mean, I feel like it sounds
You can
okay, but am I, like, peaking for you?
No, I was just curious if you could turn each other down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could just
You
use
can actually
Discord
make
if
your-
we want.
You can make your snowballs bigger by rolling them. The physics are crazy. Look at that. Look at... It's huge. Huge!
Damn. How are you pushing it?
Just throw
Magic.
it, but just hold it for like a little bit.
Oh.
Don't
Nice
hold it all the
ball.
way.
Holy shit.
Yeah, look at that, dude.
Huh.
Lappa?
He's gone, dude. It's over.
I'm gonna go up the hill and slide down.
You do that, man.
We can't hear you, Lappa.
Here I come. Whee!
No, my ball.
Oh, damn.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
damn.
Damn.
You got some
Yeah.
Don't fucking start with me.
Listen, listen. I've been made fun of the entire day. It's time for me to make fun of. You didn't do any sick flips.
I don't know what's going on with Lepa. Damn.
V.
Oh, yo.
V?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
My voice activation's not working. That's the problem.
Well, we can hear you now.
How do you put out your cigarette? I don't want.
It's like
it's
a
toggle
toggle,
to
yeah.
talk. I get it. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, I'm ready.
All right.
I mean, I was ready the whole time, but
Mm-hmm. I feel like we should bring these tubes with us. Can we like put these in the RV or something?
what do we do with the tubes though? What do you need tubes for?
I don't know. You never know. We can. I put one on
How
top.
about the tubes. The tubes.
Yeah, I got music.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Are we just going straight forward? I guess.
Are we
I
gaming?
can't remember. There's like fuel, right? In this.
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, wait. Oh, here.
I remember hearing the word wince a lot.
Actually, maybe it wasn't
Beans.
fuel.
Yeah, Vince. Vince. Six-pack
Vince.
beer. Let's go.
I'm going to Vince.
I'm going to convince you to take the Vince.
All we know is that we shouldn't let Salad drive. That's all I know.
Motor oil.
Why is the
I'm bringing
car
in the
slowly
stuff.
moving forward?
For some reason, you guys. are not
Ooh,
doing
what are
anything.
these?
What? What?
And
I,
I'm
You know,
doing
look at
things.
this.
all right. Yeah.
Beans.
I
Is
will
it
get
beans?
the scrap.
Winch. Wince?
Did you?
Beans.
Did you pick up a lighter?
No.
I didn't see a
Leper,
ladder.
did you?
I mean, we.
Lighter? What the fuck?
Let's go! Pull me!
Wait, how does your
there was,
inventory work in
there's-
this? Oh right. Wait.
You gotta light them
remember.
up.
Oh.
Winch.
Oh wait, can you
Winch?
like?
I remember.
What do you mean light it up
Can you
with your
smoke
ciggy?
it? Oops, my bad.
Mm,
Oh my god, it
firework,
worked.
man. Wait, what?
Woo!
The ciggy lit it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very sick.
Wait, wait, you have to throw the cigarette at it? Or?
Yeah.
Oh. The fuck do I throw the cig?
3. Press 3.
You fucker. I literally fuck. Wow, look at that. How
Beautiful.
pretty. Let's get a jog on, shall we?
Oh, are we gonna tow you, Ella?
Yes.
Okay.
Pull me.
Fucking dead weight as usual.
What? That's crazy. Go back to the asylum.
Hey, buddy, you're gonna be back soon enough.
No.
Yeah, and the bonfire mod's gonna be updated as well.
Oh, no. No, it's not.
You'll have no
Have I been
excuse.
talking to myself this whole time?
Yeah,
Fuck's sake.
yeah.
Yes.
Somebody sit up here with me.
All right, I
Somebody
guess
drive
I'll
and somebody
drive.
get
I'll
up here.
drive. Fuck it.
Oh, okay, here you go, here you go. Yo, what's up, man? Oh, we can't even see Ella. Bro, who fucking
Can I-
lifted the hatch?
What do you mean? Just stand on the roof.
No, we're sitting on the roof.
Lay!
Bro, this
Son
is
of a
learning
guy
how
back
to
there.
drive, man. Let the man learn how to drive.
Wait, who's driving?
Wait, where are we supposed to go?
That's a fence.
Yeah, well, I didn't see
I
the
think you're
fucking
straight
fence.
ahead.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
what I
thanks
thought.
for the
See the
games,
fence.
guys.
Oh my,
Shut-
oh my
oh
god.
my God.
Leper.
What is that mic?
What?
Fucking, you got a $1
You gotta
mic as
turn
well?
down- you gotta turn down the gain in the options. It was maxed out for me.
Jesus.
You sound like Vamos, yeah.
Guys, I think we're
That's
stuck.
crazy. Yeah, I
stuck,
fucking
there's
wonder
no
why,
way.
Dick.
Yes,
Do I
we're
have to
fucking-
winch? I was gonna get.
Bro, I'm not kidding.
I wonder
drove,
why.
I drove straight into the fucking fence, man.
He's fucking
Oh.
useless.
Oh, come on!
Bro, I'm trying to fucking fix our
Okay,
shit
I'm
here.
winching.
Oh, do you have
I'm
the winch remote? Where is
Oh
that
that
thing?
better?
my god.
Yeah, I do. I do.
All right.
Is this better?
I'm sick of it. I'm already over it.
Is my mic ass?
No, it's okay
It's not
now.
us,
you're
it's
fine.
really loud, yeah.
Okay. Just loud? Oh.
It was loud, yeah.
I'm gonna turn it down. You don't need to hear what I'm saying.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
sick.
Bro!
Dude, the entire
It has
roof
been-
just came off.
It has been like 2 minutes.
No, it's been 2 meters, okay?
Not
Oh
even
my-
that. We're literally minus.
Oh yeah, we're minus 2 meters. Can we just reset? I can't. We can't let
No,
this
no, no,
drive.
no,
This
no,
happened
no,
last
no,
time
no, no.
too.
No.
I think it's
no.
fine.
All right, are you guys
Well, hold
on?
How do I release?
Handicap.
No. Wait. No.
Okay,
no.
okay, I'm stopping.
No.
Hold up. I want to see if you can pull this.
Unk is
Really?
nar maxing.
How the hell do you? Can you only carry one item?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright.
Yo, our
wanna
driver's
see if-
eating. I bet it's red Pringles.
I'm wait.
Hold.
No, it's nuts.
Is. Oh.
No. There's a Christmas tree here.
Hold up. I'm just winching myself to see if this works.
Why the
What, with the
fuck is the
tube?
bathroom like blocked off?
Okay, I'm in. Let's go.
All right, can you
Wait.
turn on the radio, Sal?
Ow. Oh. There we go. I turned it on.
You have to lock the winch.
Ah, there you go.
Well,
Do I just go?
Can someone lock the winch?
there you go.
Sal can lock it.
Okay.
How do you lock it?
I don't know.
I think on the remote.
What's the...
on the-
Ow! Leper! Okay.
Thank you, Lepo.
Sorry about that.
So it looks like I'm about to drive us down a cliff, guys. Should we go down?
No, I pull...
Just
I've not locked it yet!
Wait, we're not.
Well,
Fine,
I'm going
fuck
though.
it.
I'm going.
All right, are we good?
Fine. Yeah, why can't
Yeah.
I get past this
Yeah,
part
we're
on the fucking...
good.
Why can't I get into the back of the
Alright.
van?
Whee!
How am I here?
Lepo.
Oh shit! I'm
Oh,
mega
Leper fell out of the
spinning.
back. Leper fell out of the back.
Ah! Wait, is that Leper's body? Oh, it is.
This stuff he fell out of the back.
Okay, I'm
He's
stopping.
running.
Let me put it in
Oh,
park.
bye, Leper. Oh my
Oh,
god.
shit. What is happening?
Lepo?
Leper's muted again.
Okay, don't run me over now. I'm just gliding right in front of the truck.
Fucking
Okay.
run him
Can
down.
you turn?
this.
Just. No! Chill. We're good. We're good. Oh, I got an achievement. Whee!
All right. Let's just
Hold
chill.
on.
Do you want to check out the little buildings over up to our right?
I'm like super far away.
Or we just send it?
Winch me.
I don't know.
Dude, what is?
Oh, we can hear you. We're just choosing to ignore you.
I'm trying to winch him in. He's
Okay,
just
hold
not
on.
coming.
Oh my God, he's so far away, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. The winch is like stuck on a tree. I'm winching!
Oh,
Oh my
God.
god, Vince me.
Bro, he's fucking stuck on a tree.
All right,
What does he want from
I'm gonna
me?
reverse. I'm gonna reverse.
Okay, winch me.
I'm literally pulling you.
How do I heal?
Not my fault.
Can't you just get in the car?
No!
Where
I
is
think
he?
it's
Okay,
bugged.
fine.
It won't pull.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm resetting the Vinch.
Oh my fucking god.
There we go.
Yeah, you can't
Okay,
lock it.
I'm in.
Well, you can
I'm in.
You can lock it. Never mind.
Yo.
How do I lock?
All right. Do we go across the bridge? What do you guys think?
Oh.
So we kind of have to.
Yeah, we're going across the
We
bridge.
should have a choice. Is there
Don't we have
anything
a
down
map
there,
somewhere?
maybe?
There's no map in this game.
There's a map.
There is a
There's
map.
a map
I have it
sometimes.
in my inventory. I'm reading it. Where are we? We are top right. Okay.
Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we?
The map is to your right, Lepa, right?
Okay, is this part of the
I don't need
fucking
a
like
map.
thing glitched the ULR? I can't. I
What?
can't.
Guys,
like, I can't get into this part.
Are
here.
we-
I'm going glitch.
Am I going the right way?
Huh?
Yeah,
You want me to go check?
yeah, you're good. There's a really
Yeah, I think
How
you're
do we
good.
get out of the car?
Wait, do we not have a
Just
windshield?
go
We don't
there.
have a windshield.
Yeah. Somebody crashed the car in the beginning.
I wonder who
Right.
that could have been. What? I fell out of the car again.
Wait, do you want me to prepare a winch? I'll prepare a winch in case.
Okay. Okay. Do not go to the back of the truck. It's fucking super glitched. You just fall
Wait, what
out
the
of the
fuck?
back of it.
I'm gonna see outside. Yes, I see
I'm
the
trying
problem.
The
I
winch
see the problem.
is
We are at an
mega-
Alright,
awful
it's good,
angle.
It's good. Yeah,
What
just
is
go ahead.
this?
It's good. Yeah.
All right.
nice.
Beautiful.
Okay, wait, chill. Let
Bye,
me reset
Ella.
the winch. Let me You're winched.
Okay.
Got it, Vince?
My bad.
He's Vince.
Okay, you can go.
All
You
right,
can go.
all right.
You can go. I'm ready for winching in case it's needed.
I can't wait for you
Wait,
to
oh,
fall into one of
shit.
those holes.
No, I will not.
There's a slope.
Should I go slow
Oh.
or fast? Okay, just. Oh god.
So
Ah, okay. Well, there
What
goes
the
that
hell?
truck.
It's okay.
might have to Vince.
I don't think it's okay.
Vince forward.
Winds
Are you
forward.
fucking Vince?
Winds fall. Oh my
god.
god. Oh, it's over. It's over.
No,
It's so over.
No, it's not over. Winch backwards. Give me the remote. Who has the remote?
No one is in there with him.
Wait, did Lepa fall down?
Yeah.
I think Lepa fell. Yo, give me the
yeah.
remote, this. Where's the damn remote?
I don't have the remote.
I have the remote. I'm gonna save this. Watch.
I don't think you are.
I am. Watch this.
Let me just hit the wiggle.
Lep-
Little wiggle
Wait,
action.
Lepa's alive. How is he alive?
Oh no. Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm fixing you.
Wait, it was so.
Should I unwinch from the
What is?
front?
What is?
The problem is that one of the wheels is like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm fixing it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wait, we're good.
Wonder where
See?
Lepa-
He
You're good,
fixed
just
it.
go.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
You
No.
ran me over.
Guys.
Keep going.
This
I can't
stuff.
keep going.
He's
dude.
under the truck.
I can't keep going. Look
Go
at this.
forward.
You're fine. What? This is super. Oh.
I
Oh,
can't see a
shit.
fucking thing. I'm in the truck.
Let me grab
Help.
you.
Where are you?
I'm
Okay.
like,
Where are you?
help. Wait, can you pick me up, Ella? There we go. Thank you. Okay, now don't fuck me.
Okay, we're
How
good.
do we
We're
fucking
good.
cross this?
Oh,
god!
oh.
my
Snowstorm!
god! I almost
Oh,
just
I'm getting
got knocked
pushed.
off.
Get in the truck. Oh my god.
How do we
This is
repair now
strong.
again? We need like. Yeah, this is strong as hell.
This is
Don't we need to
fucking
find
door, like-
materials for repairing?
Yeah, we have none.
How long does this blizzard go for? I can't get in.
Me neither.
Even you can't get in.
How the
Just
fuck?
get in.
How'd you get in, dude?
I just walked and jumped.
I think we need to like explore and get some planks. Lepa's like far ahead.
I don't even know where the
What
fuck
are we gonna-
Lepa is.
Oh.
I don't know about this one. I'm not so sure
Oh, you
about
don't
this.
trust?
No.
You don't trust?
No. No, I don't.
I mean, but the
No,
plank
you know what I
isn't gonna
do?
cross it though, so
No, a plank is not gonna work here.
I almost feel like you need to put it, like drive, like center onto the beam and then winch it across.
Fuck!
Then
No,
we
no,
Oh,
should-
Lepa.
Or we just try.
Oh, God.
This. You should have seen it. Leopard just made his way back here, and he fell through a fucking hole over here again.
Dude, I can't
Are you
get
dead?
this.
I need an epi.
I don't think we have.
Oh.
Oh, we do have some.
Yeah,
Eppies.
yeah.
We have some Eppies.
Yeah, are you gonna get him? All right.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I got you, buddy.
All right, Ella, do you want to do that? Do we just go for it?
Yeah. Let me just fix
yeah.
this wheel. It's scuffed.
All right.
Hello. For some reason you're in my ear now.
I'm fixing all the wheels.
Okay.
I'm in my ear, not like direction. No matter how far I am from you, I can hear you.
Okay. Are you ready for action?
Sure.
Stay right there, Dist. Stay right there. I'm gonna go to the other
Alright, I
side.
gotta see this.
This is not gonna go well. I can.
No, it's gonna
guarantee it.
work perfectly. Watch. I'm going.
Fuck would you?
Okay.
How would it work ever?
I'm pulling. It's fine. It's gonna work soon.
Okay, and yeah, that worked well.
Where is he? Wait,
It's not
hold up,
even
if we can
facing the
turn-
right way.
Hold me.
I'll follow you up.
Oh my fucking god! You're not even facing
Wait,
the
this-
right way.
I'm reorienting.
Yes,
Hold
dude.
on.
I'm
You
trying to swing
can't.
him. I'm swinging him.
Wait, Ella, get the fuck on the other side because if that wind starts blowing, we're both dead.
Oh wait.
Oh yeah, look!
Ella!
We're good. Wait. Keep winching.
Oh my god.
Keep winching. Ella, we need. Wait, are you dead?
Oh. You know, Ella, remember when I fucking said move your ass otherwise the wind's gonna blow us off and you stood there?
Are you guys dead? Wait, can they not hear me? Hold on, I'm gonna put it in park.
Oh my god. No, I didn't. That was on the floor.
Guys? Where are you? Hello?
Here.
All the way.
Yeah, we're all three down here.
Okay, I'm coming.
We got Blizzard in. Wait, do you need like a big hitter?
I got help.
Use the tube. True. I'm probably gonna get myself killed though.
Oh, there's a cave down.
down here. Dude, left is like 20 feet to your right in a ditch.
Wait, where am I?
Are you on the side of a
yeah,
cliff,
I'm right under
Ella?
the bridge. No. I'm in the hole, like the deepest hole here.
All
Okay.
three of us are just dead in a line disc, basically.
Yeah. I'm to your left down there, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's Lepa in
Oh.
the bush.
Oh, I dropped the fucking flare gun. No.
I can breathe. Wait, where's the remote?
I got it.
Oh,
Alright.
fuck.
Oh,
you did.
okay,
Okay,
thank
good.
you.
Well, we actually made it to the other side, though. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Hopefully we can just winch it across. It's almost like broken though.
Trust the Oh!
Should we like go into the cave? Should we go in the cave maybe? See if there's like scrap
Is
in
the
there?
cave
to-
not the
Oh,
correct
there's
way?
scrap right there.
Oh, there's stuff. There is.
Yeah, we need scrap and stuff. We do.
See, just a blessing in disguise when you think about it that we fell down, you know?
True.
Yeah, it's true. We never
Oh my
would
god,
have
there's
found
so
this
much
otherwise.
shit in here.
I need some
I thought
food.
Lepa looted this.
Oh!
Damn, look at this shit.
Oh wait, we can.
Oh
we
my
can
god,
cook.
the echo is crazy.
I got reindeer hats.
Hey, I want. Ooh.
I got new glasses.
Wait, how do we light this grill?
Oh my god, you're mega bald, Salad. Holy shit.
Says you!
Like IRL.
Borgir?
What the fuck? I'm not bald IRL.
This is not how you feel.
Lepa is gnome, look. Wow.
What's this thing? Oh,
Yeah, I
snow
saw that
chains.
chain too.
Bordier. He's gonna get the last one. He's got the fastest reaction time.
Well, I haven't gotten any meat yet. My meat. Thank you.
How did you not get one? There was 4.
I'm taking motor oil.
Wait, is the burger?
I'm also taking motor oil. I think. What is this chain for?
I guess we need a
Mount
med kit to heal.
snow chains?
Put the hat on.
Mount snow chains. I'm bringing this back.
Motor oil.
Let's take the chain.
okay.
Oh,
Wait, we
Snow
need the,
chains are probably
Wait, we need the
useful.
winch
Yeah, yeah.
controller though.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
snow chains is for grip on the snow with the wheels.
Okay.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It is. Yeah.
mean-
Oh, I'm full HP.
yeah.
Our truck looks stable over there.
Right.
Oh, I think Lepa's driving it. Yep, he is.
No, I'm pulling it.
Are you?
yeah.
Nice.
Oh. No. No, I don't want to fall down.
No. No. We're good. We're good. Wait. Okay, the truck can't move. That's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was half expecting to just see it fling off the side. It probably can when it's nearly dead. That'd be awkward.
I mean, it's pretty
Ice!
fucked up right now.
uh,
Are you still pulling it?
what the fuck
Don't
is going?
winch it. Yo, release
No,
the
I'm
winch.
not. I'm not winching it. I'm not winching.
It
Yeah, but you
looks
gotta
like it's being
release it.
winched, bro.
Yeah. You winched it too much.
I'll fucking winch you if you carry on.
Whoa.
I'm putting this on the tire. I want to see it.
Pudding?
Bro, what the fuck happened to it? It had.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, it has durability 200 meters.
Mm.
Bro, we're not gonna
I'm
make it
putting a
200
winch.
meters.
I'm putting a winch. Oh, we don't need to put a winch, I
Ouch.
guess. No.
Does somebody else want to
Whoa!
drive?
Throw a lot up here.
What the fuck? Did you guys not see that?
Totally.
Come on, let's go. Follow me. Right here, straight ahead.
Wait. How does this work?
Oh, it's a
again?
map.
Put the first gear in.
It is.
Yeah, I can't read that.
There we go.
Follow me. Follow me.
Nice,
Follow me.
nice.
Follow me.
Like riding a
Yep.
bike. It's
Yeah.
a car.
Oh no.
It's, yeah.
Leper. Leper.
It's
Leper.
Riding a bike, guys.
riding a bike.
Leper.
Well, I'm grabbing
Yo,
the
I put
flipper.
winch.
Why is everything
I
upside
put
down,
winch.
guys? I don't get it. It's a game plug.
Yeah, I
It must
think it
be a
may be
bug.
actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's over.
Plug.
It's so over.
No, it's not over. I'm the winch master, dude.
Boom.
Oh.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we don't need you,
Hey,
Ella.
wait for me.
Dude, we need to. What's with that blue on the bar, by the way?
It's the
durability.
fucking durability. We're nearly dead. That's
no,
what I meant.
isn't that green?
I
No,
guess
it's
we're
green when
double
we
plug.
actually have durability.
Ah.
Ow!
Yeah, we need to find
I
like
fell out
metal
of the back
scrap.
again, guys. Don't go to the back of this stupid thing.
I can only hear salad in my ear. I don't know if it falls off.
I'm fixing the tires.
I'm trying to get on top of the thing, but I just can't get on
There's
there.
gas here.
Oh, we go. Wait. I'm almost there. I got on top. We're good.
All right, tires are fixed. We're Gucci.
Alright, I'm ready. Wow,
I got an
checkpoint.
achievement.
Whoa.
Check-
What the
Checkpoint.
fuck?
What?
You good, this?
Yeah, I'm good. I found a cassette.
Revive his friends.
Oh, you're just on the floor. Okay.
We have a flipatronic here. A welding machine.
Oh,
Yo, stop!
no.
We gotta weld, Lepa. We gotta weld.
Oh, that's what that is. Right. I
Yes.
forgot.
Well, yeah.
You're going forward
Awesome.
again. Mm-hmm.
He's going
Why isn't it-
forward.
Help.
What do you mean hell?
Going
Actually
forward.
not doing the thing.
Winch him. Winch
Wait,
him.
my
There
firework.
we go.
Wait, what is this doing?
Any scrap around here?
Are you?
Is this dead?
Are you running around?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
no,
definitely not.
Wait,
You're
what?
definitely not.
It's that bloody singer, mate. She's
The
always
fuck?
been
Me.
gone.
Wait,
She
oh my god,
can't
now I'm
stand
dead.
anyone
No,
stealing
we're
her
good.
spotlight.
Okay.
Wait, where
Yeah,
are you?
stay
though?
there.
Know what
I'm
saying?
fixing.
Good riddance. I'm bloody free now. Unshackled. Unchained. I'll show them what they lost.
Can you see me,
where do we
Luppa?
have more Who's putting fireworks under the truck? Oh my god!
Bro, we're almost dead.
Good job,
Wait.
Salad.
Oh my god. Wait.
It's so over.
This fucking guy.
That's good. This is good. That's great. I can't put the wheel back on
Okay,
the truck.
fix the wheels. Fix the wheels now. What do you mean you can't put it back on? Just put it in.
I can't put it back on.
Is it in yet?
I think I just
No.
phased the wheel through the ground.
Well, we have a spare wheel in the
Oh,
back.
so great.
I will drive
Do we
this
have an
truck
extra
off
wheel?
the
Yeah.
cliff.
I
Wait,
believe
where's
you
our
will.
extra wheel gone? We had one.
I just grabbed it.
Wait, where's disc gone?
Dude,
Yeah,
okay,
where's
I think...
this?
Guys, can you
Oh,
hear
it's
me?
Disconnected. Disconnected.
Oh,
Okay,
Wait,
let me
he's-
invite him.
he's like, no, he's here.
I
Wait.
think I think I was like desynced or something.
I
you
think
did
you
on
were.
my
Bro, what?
What the fuck?
What the fuck is
See ya, guys.
What the fuck?
Leva, did What is fucking happening, bro?
What the fuck is happening with this lobby?
What? What is going on?
Oh my god. Actually,
guys
on Cloud
see me?
9.
My lord, yeah.
I'm just like...
Wait, I can still
I mean, I
pick
can
up
hear
disc.
them. Wait, what? Oh yeah. Silent, no, come back.
How does this
What-
even
what's-
work?
I
What
don't
is
know.
going
When you're
Help!
humping, you're flying.
Help!
hump us to the end, bro.
I'm going.
Where'd you go?
Elon, I'm on my way.
What the fuck, dude? Ooh. Okay. Oh, it's so stupid. All right, well. I think we might need to rehost. Or maybe I can just rejoin. Hold on, let me see. Hello? Hello?
Yo, okay, you can just click restart from checkpoint and we go
Oh,
here.
okay.
That's cool.
Nice. Bro, I got...
That
you
was
sent me the
incredible.
fucking outer space. I was like,
Jesus.
miles away. I don't know if you're muted, Sald.
Good, guys.
I was.
Okay.
Well, I was because the lobby restarted.
Yeah.
Okay, so note to self: do not put fireworks underneath
No
the car.
fireworks under the truck.
I mean, you know, it's worth testing, really, when you think about it.
Was it though? Was it? Was it?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
A silly question. Wait, it lifts up again.
Well,
Look at that, it's so pretty.
are y'all ready to go?
Yeah, I think we are good. Oh my god, this snow is so deep.
Yeah, the deep snow is fucked.
Is there anything else over here? We got some vodka.
Is this how it feels walking around in Sweden for you, Ella?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I found a cassette.
Oh, nice.
Bloody hell. What a goddamn day today.
Wait, are we jumping coming up?
Sorry, Tom.
I don't know.
The band feels like your trumpet just isn't the right
You wanna
fit.
drive, Ella?
We're going to have to proceed with a new
Sure.
trumpeter instead. Oh,
This is gonna go well.
Nick off, you bloody bastards! Talking at me like it's some goddamn HR meeting. I
Does
get this
Billy
phone
butcher the
line
E-Tech?
crap from these yanks literally everywhere I go. They're all the goddamn same. Like you got no soul. I brought
Right,
the soul.
now I remember
they
how to do
couldn't
this.
See it. We're a swing orchestra. There ain't
Could
no
drive
damn
IRL,
place for
by
that
the
kind
way.
of energy here. It's
What?
that bloody singer, mate.
What?
She always wanted me gone. She can't
I think
stand
we need to
anyone
build
stealing
planks
the
here.
spotlight. Well,
Do we even
You know what I
have planks?
say?
Hi.
good riddance. I'm
There's
right
planks
here
in
for
front
you.
of us, yeah.
Unshackled, unchained. I'll show
Listen,
'em
we all know how
what
good
they
I
lost.
am at putting planks down.
Really will.
So like, just watch this.
God, this
Look at
guy's
that.
just yapping. Shut up.
Bloody hell. What a
Hey man,
You're the one who put it in.
leave him alone.
Yeah, I was. It's true.
I feel like we only need 2 of them.
I mean, you could just grab it one for safety, right?
I mean, I guess if you're gonna be boring, sure.
Are you still
Oh my
driving,
God,
Ella?
so many planks. What the fuck?
No, I'm not driving. I'm
He's all the way
fixing
over here.
planks.
Oh.
I don't trust myself driving here.
Lepa, are you alright, buddy? Doing alright,
I
friend?
heard a mosquito.
I also heard a mosquito. Maybe foul talking.
You
Actually.
hear that?
Yeah.
Wait, there's a goat on
Oh,
the
it's
mountain.
a goat. I kind of want to.
Alright, fuck it. I'm just going.
Hey. I kind of want to go get it.
Do it. I mean, I
I'm
can
gonna
attach
die
you
if I
to a
do.
winch, and then you can go get it, and then I can winch you back.
Oh yeah.
Lepa went to the
Why is
store.
the audio in the
Brew.
game so
I'm just
low
gonna get
after
it.
that restart? I swear, it just lowered itself.
Ah! No.
Oh my god, this is
It
kind
ran
of scary.
away.
No. It kicked me in the head. Ow, you fuck. Ah! Help!
You
Help
okay
me!
down there? I don't even see you.
Help! I'm right below you. Winch
Where?
me!
I
Winch
called.
me!
Dude, I should have had winch before you jumped down.
Oh my god.
I'm going for
Okay,
it.
don't go near them.
You're going for it? Okay, let me put this
maybe,
down.
maybe not, maybe not. You think I'm good?
Oh my
Uh,
god.
I don't know. That's good. Yeah, fuck it, just go. Go,
That
go,
was
go.
awful.
Just go, fuck it. Alright, next.
Oh my god.
Wait, how are you gonna drive here?
I don't
Thank you
know.
for rescuing me.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Lepa is, he went to the store, I think.
Yeah, I think it's at the
Oh,
store.
yeah.
Yeah, this, you kind of have to just full send
Yeah,
it
I'm
up
just going,
here,
fuck
this
it.
way.
Completely missed the plank, but it's
Yeah, he's
okay.
good though, he's good, he's good. Alright, how do we do this
Not even in
part?
the same realm as the plank.
Ah!
What are you?
Dude,
Ah,
the
you're
goats
not.
are insane!
Oh, the goat's hitting the thing!
Ah!
Yeah, I
How
told
do,
you.
How do we do
Wait,
this?
how do we get over this?
How do we kill the goat? Snowball, snowball!
Whoa!
Hi, Lepa.
Okay.
Oh wait, yeah.
I'm dead! I'm not alive.
No
But
way
I'm
you're
No.
dead.
No, I'm not dead, but soon I am. This goat is fucking
Oh, fuck!
everybody. No, not again!
Oh, there's another one, Dist.
Not
Run!
again! No! Can't get me now, bitch.
I think it can. They can climb vertically.
Ah.
Whoa! What? I what even?
good, buddy?
What? I'm fucking dead. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I think we're making like.
I got you, bud.
Just help. Thank you, man.
I can't remember, if you like smoke the
sucks.
cigs, does that make you faster?
Or do we?
He gives you like a tiny little boost. Like I'm Skyrim.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit,
when you
man.
press 2.
Lepa, we need 2 planks.
Yeah, it's probably fucking
Wait a
Ella who
minute,
kicked
I
me
know
off.
how to do
Piece
this.
of shit.
Yo, reverse, Lepa.
Oh,
Yeah, I know how to do
oh
this.
god, he's gonna
Reverse.
suggest wincing again.
Trust.
I fell again!
Don't you fucking don't say it.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm gonna
No.
win.
Are you okay, Salad?
No.
No, I'm good. I came up a
Okay.
different way. You're not
Can
good
you-
though.
Can you hold up?
Bro, he's fucking beating my ass in the RV.
The plank. Yo, we got 2 planks, Ella. Leave the beans.
No. I'm
Help!
gonna swing
No,
the truck
Vince.
over. We're swinging the truck over.
No,
What the
I'm
fuck?
This is not spider truck.
Don't.
Wait, listen. Okay, this is scuffed though. This is not supposed to hook here.
Bro, just put
Bro.
the plank.
But I'm
No,
on.
I'm-
You're damaging me.
It's going to work. Trust.
Oh my god.
Look,
I feel like it's better just to
now-
drive over, no?
Digits.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
No Vince.
Are you gonna send it, Lepa?
Honestly, you should let the child have a say.
Oh, fuck.
Wow, you could drive through the. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm. Jesus Christ, the goats. I'm out of here.
The goats are fucked.
They are.
They're
Are you
worse
stuck
than
in
the
the tree?
birds. No, I think we're good. Wait. No, we're not stuck in the tree.
I'll scout ahead.
There's a big
Just
fall
like
here,
the
but
plummet.
yeah, but you should be fine.
It should be fine.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Should be fine.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Probably fine.
Oh,
Yeah, it
there's
looks good.
turbo fuel. We can boost the engine.
Oh yeah.
Give it like NOS or something.
Yeah, because that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Oh, there's a ski lift.
Oh,
Suitable.
shit.
Okay, Lepa, you gotta line this.
But they're
one up.
actually moving
There's a
the ski
garage
lift.
here. Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
Is my guys tires maybe good? Are they good?
Check
I
him
think so.
tires.
Maybe like a
Yeah, they're
tiny,
good, they're
tiny
fine.
bit to the left, but yeah, you're basically good.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
that's
You're
good.
good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, just
you're
full
fine.
send
No,
it.
no,
Okay,
no.
you kind of want to turn.
A bit to the right.
Little bit
You were
tiny
right
bit
a
to the
bit.
right.
Yeah. Oh,
That
Tiny
was,
bit to
that
the
was
left.
not a
That's
little
good,
bit.
that's
good.
There you go, there you
Straightforward.
go, there you go. Yeah, you're good. See, it's that easy.
nice.
You overcorrected a little bit, but
Ski lift, ski lift, ski lift.
a garage
Yeah, we can repair now. We really need that shit.
Yeah.
here in my garage with my new Ferrari.
Checkpoint 2.
Excuse me.
Oh, a nail gun. Why would I want a nail
Oh,
gun?
scrap
Why does it
metal
have
and
ammo?
a grill. Wait, this is
A
a part
grill?
of the rapper hat. Fuck yeah.
I slammed my
Borg gear?
penis in the car door.
Burger.
Hit
I wish
block
it-
punch.
Are your guys' health
we
okay?
eat?
I'd be down to cook some burgers.
Yeah. No, actually, I lied. I have like
I'm
no
good.
HP. Wait, Ella, have you seen the Daffy? Oh, is it Daffy Duck? It might be a Daffy Duck one of the Parappa the Rapper.
No. Is it good?
Yeah. Hang on, let me find it for
Bring
you.
in the motor oil. We have 3 motor oil.
Yeah, I'm repairing. I had to put the.
Might even be Daffy Duck.
Grill. Are
That's
we grill?
it is. Never mind.
Oh, Vince pole.
Where is it?
How do we get up here?
Oh, we got a lot of
Well,
burgers.
the ladder's
find it.
broken. Oh.
I'm gonna cook some burgers.
How did we fix the engine part?
Oh, with motor oil.
Oh, right. Yes.
You wanna? I can do it.
Yeah, do it.
Here you go, Ella. It's in chat.
Where's this?
Alright, it's done.
10.
It's short. Don't worry about it.
Vince pole. I can't get up here.
What the fuck?
Alright, I'm
is
reversing
this?
the truck. I am reversing the truck. Attenzione.
This is what Salad watches when he's not stuck in the asylum.
Bro,
In
the
car
nail
door.
gun's gone
You
there.
slammed your penis in the car door.
I slammed my penis in the car door. The nail gun is somewhere in here, by the way. You
I
guys
slammed
knocked
my
me away,
penis.
and now I can't find it.
Yeah, remember when I
no.
said I'm backing up? Listen.
Yeah, and
Listen.
look behind you. You have driver's
I can't.
license.
It's a fucking. This mammoth
Do
tank.
you not
cannot
have
be looked behind
real
with.
mirrors?
What did I miss?
Rear.
Do you not
I'm
have
gonna-
rear view mirrors?
Oh, you can
No.
use the ski lift.
What?
Guys.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to see.
yeah,
Wait, guys,
I'm
let's go.
going
Let's
up,
go
dude.
up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, wait for us, Ella. Wait for us.
Fuck is
But I don't want to hop. Okay, okay. I'll stand
No
here.
worries, I got the car, guys. Oh, I
Wait.
get.
Wait, the
My
car
friend,
is
my
fucked.
wrist in the car door.
Yeah, it's in the ice.
How high up does this thing go?
It goes.
Oh, pretty high.
Vince Pauls, it's fine. Vince.
I'm on my way.
Okay, I guess I'll die.
Get on, Salad.
I'm on my way.
Lepa? We're
I might be dead.
you're wait, you're
What?
actually dead or no?
I'm freezing. Yes, I am a block of ice.
I see him. He's a block of ice in the water. Hang on.
Okay.
I am literally a block of ice.
You considered maybe not falling into the ice? I don't know.
This is so cozy.
Are you gonna fucking... Oh.
Help, I'm
There
gonna
you go.
take a cigarette.
I got you, man.
There you go.
No.
Oh man.
There you go.
This is comfy.
Those are very nice.
Yeah. What if we can winch the truck to the lift?
Fuck you, leper. You didn't fall in again.
What
No,
is-
No, no,
What is that sound?
not twice, buddy. No. Shut the fuck up, leper.
Oh, Lepa.
Hey, he deserves it. I helped him and he flamed me.
Oh, there's rings up here. We can slide down.
Oh shit. We going
Yeah,
tubing?
they're right here, hidden. I'm waiting for you. Like on top of the ski lifts.
Yeah, Lepa is a
Nowhere near the top
block
the
of
ski
ice.
lift for me.
I'm trying to see him. I can't see him from up here.
You are like halfway down from me. I'm looking at you on my way up.
Wait, who?
You?
Me? I'm on top.
Yeah, you're not for me.
What the hell?
I'm
Do you see me
staring at you
this?
right now?
Yeah, I
Okay,
see
you
you.
do
I'm
see me.
teleported.
Oh yeah, this grabbed me.
Oh. Some weird decent. Yeah, lepers in the ice at the very bottom. They can't see him from here.
This, look, there's something else up here.
Do you think
Like,
we
up
can
there.
actually... You want to go look up there real quick?
Yeah, I would like to.
Think we can actually
Oh.
ride these?
I think we can winch the truck to the lift.
Oh my god.
That would be kind of crazy.
Dude, we need to... Oh, can we ride these too?
Maybe.
Probably.
Not really sure like where we're even supposed to go.
Up the
should probably
slope
go and
where
save
the ice
Leper.
is.
Yeah. We gotta wait for this
Yeah,
though.
we're probably could be good teammates, I guess.
2-hour ride. It's a bit slow. But it actually looks like it's open. How the hell? Oh.
Yeah, you can get in.
No.
It
Oh,
works.
damn. Well, we probably shouldn't
Just
ride
walk
it.
up. Don't jump in. Just walk in.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I
Valor is not in
I
here for
think
me.
we should probably get Lepa though.
Yeah, we should go rescue Leper.
Probably. Let's get the rings and slide
Yeah,
down.
yeah, let's do it.
Wait, no, I want to... How do I pick it up? There you go.
So, you think like we can just like go straight off from right here?
I think so.
Oh god, I made a mistake.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
We're coming, Leper!
We're co-
Oh no.
Oh fuck. Oh.
Hey man. Wait, you weren't even dead!
No.
He wasn't dead.
But what the fuck is this? What is happening?
Dude, you guys realize the game is called RB there yet, not let's dilly-dally and go fuck around
I-
somewhere.
Yeah,
What?
but
What? We are having fun,
Where
okay?
the car is. We need
Yeah,
to get
I need
gear.
your help. Duh.
No? Do you know what you need? You need chains on your wheels so you can have grip
I-
on the ice.
No,
That's
I
what you need.
to Get rid of the ice. So
Get
the
rid
car-
of the
I got an
ice.
idea.
Vince!
Just you watch. Just you.
Vince.
I can't, Vince. There's no fucking remote.
Vince!
Oh,
For fuck's
I
sake.
don't
I'll
have a winch
fucking
remote.
winch you.
No,
Vince,
it's in there,
break
I
the
see
ice.
it. Winch him.
Ella,
Winch
break
him.
the ice. You're Swedish.
How do
You
I-
don't know
how do you
break
break
the
it?
ice.
Oh my
I don't know how to
god.
break. Oh, what the fuck?
Vince!
I'm
Winch
wincing.
him. Winch him.
I can't wince any harder.
Vince!
I'm vincing.
Oh, ruh-roh.
No, you're not
More!
very convincing.
More.
Just break the
More
ice with
what?
F.
All right.
You can break your head
Oh
with
shit.
Break it. Fuck
Vince.
it. Ah, fuck.
And Vince. Alright, retract the Vince.
Okay, grab the Vince. Grab the Vince. I got. Fuck.
Just
Just
reset. Alright,
We're
see, that was
vincing
too
you
hard.
up now. We're.
to
Vincing
where? There's
you-
no
You
fucking
want me to?
Stop
Oh,
tree.
I can
vincing
put
me.
I can put this pole. Here you go.
No,
Yes.
but wasting a pole on this.
Oh my
Vince.
god.
Yeah, I fucking got there.
All right.
Alright, get
So
rid
now
of
the
Vince.
pole
I never
is
want to see it
blocking.
again.
So we're
the
doing this
Vince away.
IRL.
Okay, it's
Oh, yeah,
away.
put the
It's
Vince
gone.
away,
It's
yeah.
gone.
Thank you. What is happening
Oh,
now?
you can't go.
Now what?
Oh,
Do
we're
you
not-
need a
it's too-
wince?
No.
I think he needs a
wince,
wince.
No.
Is
I
the
think
back
it's
tire
elevation
caught?
is caught somehow. Yeah, I think it's caught somewhere. I can't see, but I think so.
Hmm.
Is it perhaps
Can we
because of the
remove these? The
elevation?
wince poles? No.
No.
Oh, the tire's so
What is
close to
my
catching.
tires?
It's just like
Can
it's.
you break the ice, please?
Can I? I don't know if
With
breaking
that,
the.
we should've
I don't
had a
think breaking the
winch
ice is gonna
back
do anything.
What if I wince out?
Push him with
No, I
F.
don't. I have push him.
I'm running into the back of the
You don't have any
RV.
alcohol? You get strength then.
I really should have
Oh
put
yeah,
that
we have
pole
some
a
vodka
bit.
in the back. Yeah, a little bit, Dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some vodka. I'll drink and
Yeah, drink and push. That should work.
I've got this.
Go with the Vince.
Okay. I'm gonna reset it.
I'm trying to push. Not happening.
How do you push?
I'll come
F?
and help. F.
I think it is F. Yeah, we're just
It is
not
F.
pushing. Push ya!
Push.
We're pushing.
Push.
Wait, is it? Is it?
pushing.
I feel like
Push.
it's.
I feel like it's
Like
working.
I'm stuck beside you guys. Guys, I don't think
Don't
this
mash
fucking-
it though, then it doesn't work. It's so close.
There was another hook, I think, back there.
Back
I'm
where?
gonna go back and check.
In the,
Okay.
in the garage.
The garage.
Yeah, I'm going back. Coming soon.
Well, there was like two snow wheels up on top of the hill here.
Hmm.
Probably get those.
I can't.
9.
I mean, maybe winching would still help. Like, just get that extra distance.
Oh.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna keep going forward. Keep going forward. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, I just gotta like
Thank you.
detach it now. All right.
All right, see ya.
I'm getting in. Let's go, buddy. Oh.
We need to get him. They're fine, right?
Yeah, they're fine.
They're, I think we should wait for them.
yeah, we should wait. Reversing in this actually isn't too bad if you use the mirrors at least. Oh, right, there's no mirrors. right
What
now.
mirrors? What the hell's taking you
What's up,
guys so
guys?
long? Get in.
Yo. I want to put this.
You
Vince
can maybe
down.
put it in the cabinet. Like, In
Oh,
one of
can you
these.
put it in cabinet?
I don't know.
What the hell
Can
is
you?
salad?
Can't attach. It doesn't let me. What about the top?
I mean, you could
though?
get rid of one of
Just
the
hold on to
tubes
it.
if you want, or hold on to it. Yeah.
Where's salad?
I don't know.
Wasn't he with you?
I heard him.
No. I keep hearing him, but I don't think he hears me. I'm not sure.
Are you dead,
Do
Salad?
you hear me?
Where are you?
Go getting snow wheels.
I kind of want to go.
Oh my God.
On my way. I'm coming.
We have a winch pole now. I'm here.
Coming.
If you just come, you guys can go forward. You can go forward. Salad, come this
I
way.
think I'm actually heading.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
heading
This
the way
this
you
is
guys
the
are coming.
path they. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I was up at the top. I was doing things.
We
Apparently, you
are-
just don't take fall damage if you're in one of these.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like yeeted myself down the cliff with that thing on.
There's something flying around in the sky that's red, and it's really tilting me.
Red? Santa?
Right? Up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you're
Oh,
gonna
Oh
be changing
shit!
your
It's
wheels.
the ice.
There's
It's ice. We need the snow.
Okay,
All right.
I can fix
we
this.
need the chains.
I have winch. Yeah, just stop here. I will.
Can you
winch.
put in
I
park?
can't. I literally can't stop.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
that's
put
alright.
on. I guess we want the. Which tires do we want the chains on? The back or the
Oh,
We
front?
don't need it. I got the winch pole.
It's gotta be forward.
Oh my
it's gotta be the
fucking God.
forward wheels.
Yeah, otherwise we can't move at all.
I put one on,
Wait,
but
what's
I
this thing?
think we only have one
This is a
chain.
4x4. Is
Why
this
is there a
four-wheel
flug on
drive?
here?
I'm winching.
Fucking not.
The hell am I stuck on now?
Okay, that looks good.
You got this, guys. I believe in you. I actually don't.
Bloody
think
hell.
our,
What a goddamn
ours
day.
have-
Oh, not this guy again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to unwinch, and then you gotta turn to the right. All right.
It's kind of. Yeah, I think you have to kind of stay on the left though, because there's ice on the right. Although the
All right, you
front
can
right
go.
tire
Go,
is.
go, go, go.
Yeah.
Nope, 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 nope.
We're still on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh god.
I'm winching. I'm winching.
Oh, we've only got one snow tire.
Yeah. If you
Well,
stick on the
there's two
left,
more
it might
over,
be
but it's a fucking
okay.
track.
Oh god.
If you could turn now. Fuck me, the music is so loud.
I
Wait, hold on.
There is.
Let me adjust the volume.
I reset the winch. You can go. Go, go, go.
Okay, go. Yeah, there's no more ice.
Fuck, what happened to the winch remote?
All right.
Oh,
Shit.
don't run me over.
The winch remote.
We'll get a new one.
So it didn't disappear. You dropped it.
Oh, scrap. Let's repair.
Nice.
This fucking guy. It's okay. There should be one at the next checkpoint. Oh well, this looks great.
I'll look around a little bit more. Maybe there's something else over here.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, this is a big lake.
Ooh.
Oh, blanks,
Well-
guys. Blanks.
I
Wait,
think we
whoa.
could technically go up.
Yeah, you
this.
just shot up in the air.
Maybe go up here. Oh, maybe not.
Ooh,
I
a
see the.
cable. Solid.
Nitroglycerin.
Solid.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering if you heard me. Never mind.
You said
Maybe
there
go
was a
over
cave
these
or something
rocks.
Yeah.
With nitroglycerin, I just, gotta go look and stuff now. Get out.
What do you think?
Look around for some more scrap.
Come here, goat. I'm gonna fuck your day up. I'm Billy Butcher. It didn't do anything to it. It didn't do anything to it. It didn't do anything to it. I pissed it off. I pissed it off. All I did was piss it off.
Here we go.
What does nitroglycerin do?
Oh!
Go up.
Oh! No!
Salad is having the time of his life.
Kind of curious about the turbo fuel.
I'm fucking
I don't think
dead.
we need a turbo though.
Guys, can I get a rest?
Yeah.
I'm on the ice.
Well,
right
wait.
in
What
front
if
of you.
what if you turbo? If you could just full send it across the ice before it breaks.
Very
What
dangerous.
what the- Guys, can I get a rest?
Yo,
I'm
Ella,
literally
look
right
at
next to you.
me.
I'm gonna grab the fuel.
Oh, blah.
Where are you, Ella?
Let us go. I think he's humping me or something.
No.
I'm back. Salad, you're not rest, right? Yeah, I saw where you got flung. I'll try to find you.
Oh, is anybody by the car? I'm throwing a turbo
Lepa
fuel
is.
down, Lepa.
No, not the goat. I already forgot the goat.
I'm throwing down 2 winch poles.
You're down here, right? The thing is, I see your name here. Wait, what? Oh, revive.
Yo, this game's so fucking janky. I bet I can.
Wait, where
I
are
bet I
you?
can do this.
On top.
Like
Oh, what the fuck?
I think I can do this.
All right,
Easy.
well.
Watch me.
That worked.
I'll get the third plank.
Gotta run around.
Watch
Just
this.
smoke
Watch
a
this.
cigarette and get some. Yep, sounds good.
Because this game's fucking dumb. Look at this. Goddamn Blizzard.
Oh my god, that fucking hurt.
Okay. What happened?
I just dropped onto the RV.
Oh my god, can this Blizzard fuck off? Please. Please. I just want to put the plank down. God. How many loads do we have? 8? Alright.
Oh my god. Make it fucking stop!
Please stop.
Oh, fucking
Nice
fire.
bite.
Dude,
I can't fucking
This game's
this blizzard is absurd.
Yeah, can it stop?
Thank you for rescuing me.
Finally. Oh, wait, never mind.
fucking
Bro,
thing.
these mountain goats
Cock!
are fucked, you know.
Cock?
Hey, man. Cock?
There we go.
Oh,
We're good.
finally.
Watch out for the mountain goat now. There's 2 of them coming up.
Yeah, the fuck. Wait, can we like... Hang on, I got an idea. Come here, you little bastard. No, I didn't mean it! Nah, come here, watch this.
fuck is
I'm
this
gonna fuck
plank
his day
doing?
up.
Please. Physics. Planks don't plank this way.
I'm drowning!
Are you okay?
I'm
is
under
plank?
the water! Help!
I am under the water.
Guys, I'm under the
Please
help me.
water! Help! I'm drowning!
I can't. The blizzard. I can't even get to you. The blizzard.
Whoa.
I'm
Oh, sorry.
dead! I'm ice!
I'll fix you after the blizzard, alright? Just be patient. Well, there goes our roof again. And our...
Did you just
wall.
turbo?
And our roof.
I turboed.
God
Guys!
damn it. I was not ready for turbo.
Help me!
Yeah, well, I know where you are, Sal. Oh my god, our car.
Oh my god.
Guys,
What is happening?
Lepa. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This goat's gonna kill me. This goat's gonna kill me.
fucking fix
Yeah, I'm coming. What just happened? Hello?
Hello. Oh, hey.
What the fuck
There's
was
a
that,
jump.
man?
There's a jump.
Bro.
Lepa, can you drive it in here so I can fix it?
Driving it in.
I was fucking drowning under the water. I couldn't see anything that was going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I turboed Lepa as he drove over the thing, and oh my god, you got so much speed. That's crazy.
Oh, is that why
Oh
he
my
just
God.
boosted away?
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
I couldn't even
Um,
see anything because I was like stuck under the water. I kept turning
Let's
into a
cook
fucking
some
popsicle.
bologna.
Where is the bologna?
Burgers. There, I saw a second pack of burgers. Does somebody have it?
I found some here. I think
put it
Lepa
in
picked them up.
I put it into the cabin.
Sweet.
Okay.
There you go. No, that's not what I wanted to pick up. It's a different
That
type
was
of meat.
Santa hat. All right, let's do this.
We're having burger.
Oh yeah, I need some
I have no-
burger.
I have no HP.
What the f?
That's not. Wait, why can't I eat my burger? There we go. My God.
My God.
We're meeting G over there. Wait, where's Leper gone?
I don't know. He went away.
I mean,
Yeah, where
I
did he
see the tracks, but I don't see the thing trapped in the water.
Yeah. Did he just YOLO
Therefore,
over
no, he's stuck
Wait,
in the. Wait, he's
I hear
wait,
it.
he's doing it.
Oh.
Wait,
the man's insane.
wait, no,
Oh.
no, never mind.
Nah,
never
it's
mind.
over.
Almost.
Nah, it's over. He's fucked up.
We might need to winch.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Wait, where even
Vince.
is he? Oh, he's there.
Vinci.
Just like there's no one in the driver's seat. I was like, what the fuck?
Is there a winch on the roof, or do I have to go and get one?
I don't know
need
if we have a
one of them,
pole.
The pulley. Yeah.
No, I don't think we have them.
I'll go and grab it.
All right.
You know what? Dist, come up to the top of that thing with me. There was 2 snow wheels last time.
Oh yeah.
You can actually use them.
Yeah, it's okay, guys. I'll just take care of everything just as usual.
We're literally getting things for the fucking car.
Yeah.
I'm getting
guy.
wind stuck.
I'm gonna fucking headbutt him.
Turn up left. The thing is, when you restart checkpoint, everyone's voices gets like.
Hey, man.
fucking-
Hi, buddy.
What's this? You know, smoke that in my face, please. You bros. You just sitting on my lap, like, what is this, man?
Mm-hmm. Get right in your
I hope you
face.
fall off. Yeah, you literally sat on my face. What the fuck? This is awful. You got fucking dick out of my face, Jesus.
I can't crouch, sadly. Oh no. I can't
Are
move.
you all knowing out? Oh, don't say that. Wait, what are you? Your hands are like going crazy. Your hands are going crazy. Just like you're falling.
I can't move my mouse.
Does that mean you're like stuck here? What's the crack?
I don't know. Maybe once I get off, it'll be fine.
Oh, my cigarette's nearly gone. I think. Are we at the top? I think we're at the top.
Oh no.
I took damage?
Dude, I can't.
Oh. Hang on. What if I pick you up?
Oh yeah, pick me up.
Better?
No.
We
Huh.
fucked the game, dude. Do you not even pick up the
Wait. Oh, it's like trying to high.
done?
Oh, what the fuck? I
What have
can
you done?
move only when I press control. Or like move my camera. Wait, can you control?
Wait, try pressing F. I can. Oh, I have to hold control. What? Hold control doesn't even do anything for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh wait, I think I might know. How the fuck did I do this?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know where those two have gone.
I feel like the game thinks I have control held. It's like permanently stuck down, but I can't. Fuck, man, what the hell?
I can't. Yeah, I can't move when I press control. You know what? I'm gonna fucking eat this. Okay, I've seen where that landed. I will remember. How do you manage to break every game?
I don't know. I think the problem was I was like holding control and I like opened the menu, but
I'm just gonna pretend that they both landed down there safely.
I might just quit out and rejoin, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Probably the only thing you can do at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like control got stuck. It got like stuck being held down. When I opened the
Oh yeah,
menu.
we are. It's behind you.
Oh hey guys.
Let me see. Do you not see the tire?
Player with long name and symbols. Wait,
Tire's over here.
Salad, is that you?
What's happening?
Oh no, that's
Hello?
you, Lepa.
I can't
Okay.
hear this.
Wait, can you hear me?
Hi, Dist.
Okay.
Did
I have things.
That's why I couldn't go up the thing.
I can't
need,
attach
the-
the wheel.
I got
We need
you.
to lift
I
you.
got you.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh my
lift it.
God.
Yeah, sick. Okay, okay.
My team are useless.
That is called a jack.
And then we need a winch. We need
Mike,
a winch.
Can we put this in
What the
park?
fuck did you just say, Salad?
I'm being
Dickweed.
useful.
Are you
You
driving?
were nowhere to be found.
I don't know
being
what
Not
that's
doing
useful.
anything.
I
This
still
fucking
can't. There we
guy.
go. That's better.
You
Soon.
just lied
So- there we
to
go.
me as well. I'm the only reason we even have this.
Where the fuck's Salad?
Yeah, exactly. Where is Salad?
Is the tire fixed?
What is
Yeah.
Salad?
It's fixed.
Okay.
If you look to your right, there's a snow wheel next to you and a second one on its way.
I can always hear Salad as if he's like right next to me.
Yes.
Good, it's because I am.
Oh wait, you can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
I didn't even know
wa-
you could hear me.
I wasn't that
No,
far
he can
away.
hear you now because he's right here, Dumbo.
Oh,
Okay,
Okay.
where did you put the other? Look out of there.
we need
Can you
winds.
unwinds?
Do we have a winds thing?
Can you
No.
unwinds, please?
Yeah, I will unwinds. But
I mean,
didn't
we
get
have
up
2
there.
snow tires.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we
do
have
you
two
mean
snow
unwinds?
tires.
Yeah, it
Get
might
up there,
work.
Jesus
But they have
Christ.
durability though.
Yeah. That mountain goes.
What if
like
I
a
just
little
send it
sauce.
and you put it on the thing?
Yeah. But give me the winds. I'm gonna winds max. Just go. Well, that. Yeah.
Well,
Grab the vince and put it on the tree.
Yeah,
Grab the vince.
working on it.
Run!
I'm
Penis!
running. You gotta go again. Reload.
Ruh-roh.
He's not even in the car. He's just watching it go down the hill.
Reload.
Oh no, the car's going further down the hill.
No, it's fine.
All right, just run over there. Run
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the tree.
Yes, I'm going to the tree. I am.
There's a remote on the ground. Get it.
Okay. I don't know where it is.
Come on.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
I think this can work. I was pretty close there, and you're up the mountain, so.
We could also turbo fuel up this bitch.
No, it's gonna work.
No,
it's gonna work.
there's no
Turbo
grip.
fuel! Do it!
You want to do the turbo fuel, Lepa?
No,
Okay.
it's not gonna have grip.
You don't know that.
Turbo!
Go up
I'm
as much
tilted
as
like
you can.
Swedish man room.
Just do it. Okay, maybe
Okay.
don't do it now.
How about you reverse, Lepa? Into the mountain.
What do you think the beeping is?
Oh, yeah, right. Do you perhaps need a winch?
Vince.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not moving if unless you.
You're on ice.
No kid.
This, can you winch his ass?
Are
What's the
you
master man?
kidding me?
A situation. Which one
Yeah,
goes?
I can try. Well,
Oh my god.
The right side is not ice. I'm not going off that thing.
Or is it?
Okay, now winch the ass.
Rizzy. Vince.
all right, I'm pulling your ass. Oh wait,
Mm,
there we
No,
go.
you are not.
I'm pulling the ass.
You sure?
Yeah. Yes,
Oh, he's
that's
definitely
good.
pulling your ass.
And then when you get speed, Lepa, you fucking boost right up so I can winch that tree, alright?
Boats. Okay, boats.
Okay, I'm gonna release the winch.
Yes,
Sorry,
release
Bob.
it and then get all the speed and then just drive up here. I
I'm gonna
should
have
make
all
it to
the speed.
Okay, yeah, but
I don't think
Should-
you're gonna have all the
I
speed.
need-
I
also
kind of
have
want
time
to.
to
I
run
think
there.
we should turbo it.
All the speed.
I think we should
Yeah,
turbo
just
it.
go, go,
Oh,
Lepa, go,
okay.
go, 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 go.
No, I failed. It's hard to go from 2 to 3. It's a janky.
Yeah, I guess. Why am I? It got
Ella?
stuck on the. That's fine. No, it got
fucked
stuck
it
on the
up.
ground, so I got winched backwards.
This, you know what to do.
No.
Lepa,
No, not yet. It's not
let
needed
me
yet.
let me turbo fuel.
No!
Turbo disc, do
It's
it!
not needed. Go, 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 go! Yes! Just like that. Come on, give me the tree. Give me the
You're
tree.
nowhere near the tree.
I'm not even.
All right,
close.
reverse it.
You're not even halfway to the
Yeah,
tree.
what the fuck am I stuck on?
Me.
Nothing.
Dude, I'm like. Okay, now maybe?
I don't know what I'm stuck on, but.
Wait, what if I pick
Okay,
you up?
this, do you know
Yeah,
what to
wait,
do?
pick Ella up. Drag him.
Huh?
Ah!
Throw me, throw me.
Yeah, this is
Throw me.
working.
Okay, you
Throw
want to
you.
do the turbo? We got two turbo
Aw,
fuels.
doesn't work. Well, maybe not do it there.
All right, Lepa, back up.
Oh yeah, maybe I think the line needs to be reset. Okay. I'm going vincing. I'm vincing. I'm vincing. I'm
Oh,
vincing.
No, I'm
Vincing, he's
sliding.
vincing, he's
I am
vincing.
No,
sliding.
no, no, no. Oh, I'm so close. No! I was wrong. I was close. The winch wasn't reset. That's why I had no range. We needed. If we had reset it, we would have been fine.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I would have made it. No, it's fine. We got it. We got it this time.
Holy sh!
Where's this?
Oh yeah, I think
Can
you
you-
ran him over.
Can you see me? Hello?
Yeah, we see you
Okay.
laying on the ground.
All right. Jesus Christ, Lepa!
good?
Just do the turbo, man. The turbo's gonna work. Trust.
Turbo man.
Oh no. Oh, what the
What?
fuck?
Are you fucking okay, this?
I don't know. You just teleported me.
Go, Lepa, go, go, go.
Am I
You're
here?
not even here.
Faster,
You're not even
harder,
here for me.
stronger.
Oh,
No.
I can't.
No.
right,
You're like
I'm-
still dead on the floor for me.
All right, I'm gonna rejoin.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Brock, he's sitting there.
I'm back.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
are we gonna
fine.
turbo fuel this time?
Dude, I like how when people rejoin, their voice is just random how loud they are.
Okay, Lepa,
Join.
are you ready?
Yeah, turbo it, turbo it, turbo it, turbo it.
I guess.
I'm gonna turbo it the moment you start going forward, okay?
go.
Go!
It's not working.
It's not gonna have
Over
grip.
here. Over here.
It's not letting me boost it.
Fucking soy boost.
Oh god.
No!
It worked this time.
It's
All right,
so
reverse Lepa, it's
worth-
fine.
Oh fucking hell. Oh fucking hell.
Yeah, just go up. Just go up the
Oh my
fucking.
God.
Out of the way! Yes!
fuck!
Yes!
Ah!
Yes!
Yes, it worked.
All right, full send it, boys.
Okay. Oh my god, Lepa. Yes!
Full
yes,
send
Lepa,
it!
yes! Oh no! Oh god. Oh no. No! Well, fuck. Where is Lepa? What is happening? Oh. Oh my god. Dude, the turbo fuel is fucking sick. Wait, is Lepa alive? I don't even know if I can be saved. They might have to revive me. I'm like under the water.
I should not do this. This is a bad idea. I don't know what to do.
I love how everyone. Oh god, Lepa.
What the is going on?
Lepa. Wait, he's okay? Oh, he's taking me out.
Wait, I got you.
He
Yeah.
saved me.
I thought.
Fuck?
You found jack shit. It was me.
What do you mean? I'm the one who blew the fucking ocean the fucking lake to
just-
get him. What do you mean?
Where the fuck did I go?
Where the hell did you go?
Did you just
I don't know where
stuff
he
me
is.
in the
I got
fucking
the vantage
floor?
controller.
Fuck off, Salad.
That's me.
He fucking buried
Is
me.
this-
I'm frozen!
Did
Help!
I bury
fuck.
you?
Help!
buried
There's a
me.
fucking.
God damn it.
I can't, Ella.
I can't see you. Dis.
I'm in the
No.
waters. Nay. I'm a fuck.
What the fuck?
Fall through the floor, Dis?
I don't know. I think I did. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, hold on. I need to rejoin. I don't know if this respawns me or what, but oh, it did. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my
Wait,
god.
this is a lot. Wait.
Oh, help! Help! Oh,
Wait,
Oh my
what's
god, you guys.
What the fuck is happening?
Where am I?
Lepa!
You're fine.
Oh,
Where the fuck am I?
Lepa!
What happened to Salad?
What is happening? Lepa, you're like
What is
fucking
this?
you're Ella-sized, bro. What's going on?
I don't even know where I am.
I'm fixing the car.
Am I
Wait,
small?
Here, yeah, wait, let me pick you up.
Wait, what? Wait, where is that? Is that Lepa?
I think I'm
Yeah.
Small?
Yeah, you're really tiny.
Wait, where is he? Where is he? Why is he so tiny? What the fuck? It's so cute. Oh my god, what is happening?
No!
Oh my god.
I joined back
What
in and
is
just saw the
fucking
car
happening,
explode.
dude? Oh.
Why was Lepa so tiny? In
Dude,
here,
this
Lepa, in here, we
fucking-
need to fix the car.
Oh no. Dude, this game's fucking collapsed. What the fuck?
Oh.
What does the nail gun do?
Let me fix the damn car. Ah! I guess I'll die.
Wait. Wait,
Dude, I wonder how
I have to
Lepa
try
got so
something.
tiny.
I don't think it
do
did
anything.
anything now.
Hello?
Oh, I'm
Can we
I'm
grab the Vince
muted.
pulse
Yeah, no,
now,
I don't think
please?
that did anything.
Yes. Lepa, how did you get to the tiny glitch?
I don't know. I was grabbing disc and salad. Both. At the same time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I got a winds pull on top. I'll get the other
Let
one
me-
too.
what the fuck does the nail gun do? It doesn't even do anything.
Shoot
Wait,
the deer,
huh?
the goats.
Yeah.
No, there's
You
nothing
just
does
waste all
damage
our
to them.
ammo.
Okay, we have 2 winces now, alright?
There's
Wait,
3
That's it.
total. I
Ladder
think.
is back.
Oh, burger?
Oh, burger? I'm fucking. You
Fuck
picked me
yeah.
up.
I did.
Burger?
My burger.
My burger.
Fucking-
I can't even eat the burger.
Oh, there's another wheel on the
Floor
back of the garage. Can we put that on the car?
I wonder.
I'm gonna drive out so you can put stuff.
Ow! My fucking
I
ah!
just die.
Eat burger.
Oh, man.
I need to test
Putting this
something.
behind our car. I mean, we don't really
What
need
the hell?
extra wheels, do we? We just need like.
Lepa,
Stuff.
can you up yourself in
Oh!
your mic settings? I think you like fucked up when you became tiny or something.
Oh.
Just like
Okay, I
change it
understand what
back
the
and
nail
forth
gun
once.
does.
Yeah, what does
but
it do?
Now we're 2
Uh-huh.
planks down. We're 2
No,
planks
you're
down,
still
but
low.
I understand what it does.
Okay, better.
Oh, I see.
It nails the planks together, and they can't move now. I don't think.
Oh, cool. Oh, you can't move them.
Yeah, we got it. It was worth testing.
Oh!
What the fuck was that?
Oh!
Oh my god.
Oh!
Fuck
Oh,
these
fuck.
things.
Jesus Christ.
Are we going?
I'm not even gonna try to do one.
Sure.
Wait for me. No.
So we have 2 winces on top of the roof now.
Cool.
They're gone. It's over. I'm never gonna see them again. No, I'm not doing a cheeky,
Break the ice.
sneaky gnome.
Break the
Break
ice,
the
it
ice.
says.
Break the ice.
Break
Okay.
it. Yeah, we're breaking it. We're breaking it. Break it by the ass of the car.
Yes.
Right here, right here.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I just killed myself.
Oh no.
I
I'm
help.
okay.
I'm,
What? Where are you? Are you good?
oh, thank you.
We're
Break the
breaking
ice.
the ice.
Break the ice.
Oh my. Ella. Oh no! That was just an
I'm
iceberg
frozen.
in the middle. Nay,
Break
nay,
the
this,
ice
get
if
me.
you're frozen.
This,
Where are you?
Yes, pick
Where
me
are you?
up.
I don't know where you are.
Hello?
I'm falling in. No, I'm like I'm falling.
I'm
Okay,
frozen.
thank you.
Just break the ice if you're frozen. 3
Help.
times.
What do you mean? He can't. He's frozen.
Help.
Yeah, Yeah,
I
if you're
can't get
frozen
you,
in
I
a
got you.
block, you can just break it.
I'm back. Thank you.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's in like in the middle. The ice that we need to break is in the
Fuck,
middle.
I'm
It's didn't break.
sacrificing myself. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah, because
What
that's
the
gone
fuck
well,
is
hasn't it?
happening?
Then? That's gone
What
really
the
well.
fuck is happening?
Guys.
Our engine is underwater.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll
Yeah,
fix
I
it.
can see.
I'm frozen.
I'm grabbing the winch pole.
Wins,
Grab the fucking thing.
I'm wincing.
Wait.
I'm wincing.
I'm grabbing the remote.
The remote. Oh, this.
Where the fuck did the remote go? Oh,
I'll say.
Did you get the remote?
I think this time.
bro!
This.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
I freed him.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
pulling.
Okay.
God damn it.
Pull it.
Stupid ass game. Stupid game.
Wait, is he tiny? He's tiny again.
Stupid
Wait, what?
game.
He's tiny again.
Why am
Look
I
at
always
him.
slowly?
Okay.
He's normal
I
size for
can't
me.
see.
He's normal size for me.
Yeah, he's normal breeds.
What? No, he's super tiny.
Ow! Guys got fucking yeeted out to the fucking thing.
Stop laughing at
Okay,
me! God damn it!
I'm ready for wincing when we get to the ice part. Or do
Okay.
we turbo it?
I think the turbo worked pretty well, actually.
Yeah, just fucking turbo it. Full send it.
Okay.
We have
Hello,
a
is this the
wincing
first time
case.
you've seen someone smaller than you?
Ah, shut up. Where are you? Where is he?
Where are
He's
you?
so tiny.
Are you inside?
Look
Sal?
at him.
wait for Sal.
No, I'm fucking miles behind. My fucking
This
team
game
left
is
me.
so whack. In a good way.
God.
Oh shit! Are we turboing?
No, not yet. Wait for Sal.
What the fuck is that?
Sal-
Go!
Oh,
There's
okay.
a snow leopard!
Oh,
Okay,
fuck.
go.
Go. Turbo it.
I
Car's
turboed, I turboed.
broken.
Just
No,
go!
fuck it, just go. Well,
Wow.
Guys, I don't think we're making it past checkpoint 2.
Rip.
Dude, there was a fucking snow leopard spawned behind you and started twatting the car.
Hmm.
That was fucked up. It's okay, that was tactical, This time we'll go better.
Do we just send it?
I mean...
Wait,
let me
wait.
try something. Let me try something.
Wait for me.
Yeah. So I have to wince it here.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah,
Missing half the car's durability.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try
I
to
need to see
wince
if
it
this
to
works, because
the?
then you could take it to the top of the mountain, and then you could take it to the other side.
Oh my God, it works.
Yeah. Let's go.
Guys, wait for me! I'm coming!
Let's go.
No! I'd maybe not... Yeah, okay. Okay.
So, after we get up to the top with it now, we hook it to the one that goes across the valley. And then we just fucking fly over to the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
Easy game.
That's gonna go really well.
It's gonna work.
You know what?
Stop wincing,
now
not too much. Now you're gonna hit the
For the
tree, watch
record.
out.
For the record, if you wince too much and you run into the thing Yellow's pulling you with, it will break it.
Yeah, don't wince too much. Release wince.
Yeah, why
There
did
you
you
go.
repair first?
I don't know. Whatever, this is gonna take us right to the checkpoint anyways.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. So get ready to put the handbrake in when we hit the top, and then we're gonna wince into the big lift.
Lepa, can you get in the driver's seat?
So
Lepa?
Get ready now.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get rid of the. I can't do
Get
the winch
ready.
at the same time.
No, I can wince it, but you gotta just put it in parking here.
Okay.
Right here. Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
You're good, though. You're good. You're good. You're good. Now, put it in parking and just...
In park.
Okay, I got it.
That is...
Are you good?
I think so.
Can you drive it a bit forward?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good. A little bit more, maybe? I'm close to the lift. I'm so close to the next lift. Just stay there. I think
much better than expected.
And is someone
Wait, what
ready
if
with
we
a
put
winch
the-
remote? Get ready with a winch remote.
I might need
I'm
like.
patching the next
Hold
one.
on.
Ah, you ran me over.
Sorry. Wait, I can't move now.
Will be.
You might not need to. I'm not sure yet.
Where is
shit,
the
you
remote?
do. You
Right
see
there.
It's on the wall.
Sort of bit-
Oh,
Can I
couldn't see it.
reverse a
couldn't
little
see it
bit?
second ago. No,
Or
we're like
I need
the-
someone to throw me from so I can attach the winch.
So the problem
sure?
here is that your back two wheels are completely
Not
in the
yet.
air.
Can you grab
When we
the
get the car, it takes a while for
the power piston thing on the top of the car?
Yeah, no, we do not have any. Wait, maybe hang on.
No pistons.
Wait, why is the winch locked? Can someone unlock? Well, I can do it. I got time.
How do I unlock?
Well, you press the lock button.
There's no lock button.
I think you could jump on the top from the
I
driver's
can't-
seat here.
I can't reach this. It's so close, but I can't reach it.
All right, here. Salad.
What if? Okay, I have an idea. I have an idea.
And,
what if
you can
what
jump
if
up
we had-
here. I got it.
Oh well, Leper said there wasn't one. He said no.
Here. Wait, do you have the remote?
Yeah. Wait, can you move now? Leper
Oh.
pushed it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
What is happening?
Don't worry about it, Mom.
We need to get up a bit more. Is that what we're doing?
Well, we're trying to make it so this could actually move.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Stay there.
I'm
Stay
staying.
there.
I'm staying.
Oh, I don't know if I can reach this. Maybe.
Oh, I'm getting up. I'm getting up.
I'm pushing!
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
Lepa.
that's good. Okay, this is good. All right.
Can you
I
It's
attach
cannot
not
it
reach
to, like,
this, but just
It's
wait.
okay.
Wait there. Don't wait there. Wait there. Just
I'm
wait
parking.
there. Don't-
I'm parking.
Parking. Yeah, parking. We gotta wait for the next one. Hopefully, I should be able to reach it now.
Can you not attach it to the pole here?
Well,
I
we
can't-
don't. We
no,
want
it
to
doesn't
fly
let me.
across anyways, right? So.
Yeah, we want to fly across.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking if you could pull it up, it would, you know, at least. get it
Careful, Lepa. You
closer.
don't want to send it further down. I feel like you're about to send
in
it
case
further
I
down.
cannot attach this, in case I cannot attach this
Lepa.
to the lift.
It's
No,
over.
no.
Oh
We
wait.
don't need to go higher
How,
up.
how's,
did you-
how's he
did
done
you-
that then?
Oh, he
How-
used the snow tires.
Wait. We
I
don't-
put
we
those
shouldn't
on
go
ages
so high
ago.
up.
Lepa, stop!
We're supposed to go
Lepa!
to the other.
Fucking
we're
see
supposed
ya!
to go- We're supposed to go to the other side.
Yeah, this is just death
Which
that
way?
way.
God.
This is
How
death.
is it
How do you know,
actually?
though?
We're gonna fly,
Okay,
Which
the
Lepa.
way?
thing is, yes, we're gonna fly. Yes.
Which way?
Get ready now, though. Watch out for this lift. Don't hit
Put
it.
in
Don't
park,
hit it.
Lepa.
Oh, it works! It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
What are you
It's
doing?
attached.
You have the
Dude,
remote,
this is not a
Salad?
good idea.
Yes, it is.
This is a great
Yeah.
idea.
Okay,
I have the remote.
Lepa, have some faith, buddy.
No.
Have faith.
God. Good Lord.
Grab a cigarette and have faith.
Look at what you are doing.
Don't wince too much, though.
Look.
It'll
Look
be
at what
fine.
you're doing.
It will be
Well,
fine.
this is gonna work. We're flying over to the other side.
Have a smoke, buddy.
Yeah, have a smoke and chill. This is great.
Vincent.
No, we're fine. It's working. It's fucking working.
Dude, this is insane. This game's so fucking stupid.
We're just skipping the level. Fuck it.
I think we should be congratulated on this personally.
Bloody hell. What a goddamn day today was.
Bloody hell.
About time the
Bloody hell. But we need to be ready. We need to be ready when we get to the other side, though.
True.
I'm gonna repair.
Oh yeah.
Now.
How can you even? You're gonna fall out.
Can you repair the back, Lepa? Oh, we're out of. Never mind.
Is this even the right way?
Yeah, it is the right way. It should be, yeah.
I can get you the driver's seat
Like,
if you want.
we go, you see that jump there? That's where we go after the ice lake, I'm pretty sure.
Dist!
Are you
Dist!
okay?
What the fuck?
What's happening?
What is happening?
I'm gonna pout in the toilet.
Sala, you don't want to, do you want to jump down into the truck?
No.
Yeah, that's a bad
Wait,
idea.
actually, yes.
we need,
no, I'm gonna.
we need
Wait,
to,
no, we need the
we
winch.
need to be
yeah.
up here. We need to be up here.
I kind of want to though, but it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Sure. Oh,
We're not there yet, but soon.
okay.
This is awful.
The question is, do we go up to the top of the lift, or do we go on the road that's under it?
I think we
I
should
don't
try and
know.
get. I don't know. Yeah, this is gonna go really well for us. I can feel it.
Well, it should be. It should be. I say we just go up on the top, I guess. Or?
What if this takes us to the beginning?
No, it doesn't. Like, we can see. It takes us after the ice lake.
All right, I'm in the driver's seat.
No, what? No.
You're also
actually,
you're
the
also
beginning's
facing the
right there.
correct way, so that's really good.
Okay.
Your wheels should
Are
hit the
they?
mountainside.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can lower them slowly anyway. We just have to get rid of the winch at some point. Like I can just right click when we get closer, you know.
You okay back
Yeah.
there,
This
Lepa?
is not gonna end badly. Dude, look at the shadow on the fucking.
Yeah, I saw
mountain.
it. Okay, we're getting closer, lads. We're getting closer.
Can you hear me?
So
Hello?
this is
Yeah, I
how they
can
do
hear you.
deliveries in the north.
You see, that's the ice lake up there. So we just skipped the whole ice lake. And
No,
shit.
Lepa's in the toilet.
I am toilet.
Oh, he's on the shitter. Damn.
So
No,
do
the
we just
RV is
release?
fine.
Do we just
I think
release
we're
here
gonna, like-
on the road?
I don't know. Maybe.
I say
No,
we
this
go on the
shouldn't be
road
other
because we're-
side.
Or you want to go
Well,
on top?
Maybe. I mean, I can try lowering them a little
Wait,
bit so they like.
actually, I think it continues behind the lift. I think we should go there.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Can
get
you
ready
guys,
to
like,
win.
If I start lowering you guys in a minute, let me know when you're like hitting the floor.
Okay.
Oh no,
I'm
blizzard.
stuck in the
Oh
toilet. if we're
no.
hit.
It's fine though. Get ready. You're gonna hit the mountain wall soon.
Yeah, you have to let me know when how close you are because I
We gotta
can't
be
lower you
very
guys
careful.
at the moment.
Touchdown in 3, 2, 1,
We're
and
Above?
there we go.
Okay.
Drive.
Do I lower you guys properly
Driving,
now? Can you
driving.
drive?
Yeah, lower them. Lower
I
them.
don't know. I'm tilted. I'm tilted.
What the fuck
I'm out.
is
I'm
it?
out.
Can you
Oh,
you
this
pull?
Hold up, let me
Can you
fix.
reset? Can you
I'm
reset?
trying to
Something's
fix.
happening.
Yeah. I got the wins.
Oh.
I'm fixing the wins.
Oh, I see the problem.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, but it's all right though. We can
I
fix
see
it.
the
It's
issue.
okay.
You
Just
know,
push
you
it.
can go backwards.
Push it to
I
the
think.
side.
I cannot go backwards.
Wait, yeah, I can. Maybe I can like.
I need beer.
Okay, can you?
IRL.
Can you? One of you go? Oh,
Be careful
I'm
so
being
it doesn't
pulled.
break.
I'm reversing it.
I'm gonna see if we even do we even go on this side over here? Yeah, we do.
Fucking
There's a
hope we
road
do.
here. We're
Oh,
definitely
wait.
I'm
close-
pushing.
Oh. Okay. You're gonna have to maneuver yourself between these two trees, though.
There we go.
Nice.
chill a bit, though.
Okay, wait. Am I good to go forward?
Oh,
or?
there's
Now, yeah.
there's scrap
Watch out
here.
though. Do not go forward. This is death.
Okay.
You need to turn. You need
Turn
to
where?
reverse. So reverse a little bit.
The
And then
right?
you gotta
Oh,
turn
I
to your
see.
right. Yeah, exactly. Just keep doing that a bit.
Leper, can you grab these board gears?
Oh, yeah, and now you go to the right this, if it
Oh,
works.
Sure.
Ooh, just be careful. That's good, though. That's good.
All right.
I want to know what you were tilted by.
I'm like stuck.
You're
I
hitting the
think.
lift a little bit. Just turn left. There we go. Stop. Let me just see, because I think you can go down over here. I just gotta make sure.
All right.
We might need to winch you down here. So we don't
Maybe.
break.
But if you like 180
No, it's-
yourself and then I can put you on a tree.
Can I
Like,
It's
go
kind of
down?
like this.
Kind of-
Follow me. Follow me.
Oh, no, this is fine.
Yeah, it's pretty fine, actually. It is.
Is this not like a? I guess if I go.
Yeah, you can go here. You can go here. It's fine. It's all right.
Okay.
Holy mega skippers of hell.
Yeah, that only took... You know what? That wasn't actually that long.
No, that was
An
fine.
hour.
Nice.
All right, let me in. Let me
Yeah.
in. Yeah, we're good. Let's go.
Sal, do you want to get in?
Easy.
Forward.
Yes, sir. Oh, I can't get in. Hang on. There we go.
Alrighty. That was
Let me check
beautiful.
the map where we are. Wait, that looks sick on the map. Just a straight line across the mountains. We're going the right way. There's a checkpoint.
Nice.
Nice.
So easy. All right, let's fix this.
Wow, so easy game.
So easy game. Oh, a dank, cool hat. I like it.
Oh, Ella, can I apply some lotion to you?
Okay. Oh wait, that's if you have burns, I think.
Oh, never mind. It was a bit. Oh, my bad. A bit premature.
Yeah.
Happens sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I guess. True. I mean, yeah.
What is the power
Yeah, I mean,
drill
yeah.
for? Like what heals
Is
the
there
blue?
no welder?
The blue is welding. Yeah.
Welding. Okay.
But there's no welder.
And the
here,
red
so
is
we're good.
oil, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Done.
Hmm.
Done. Unlucky.
Hold on, I'm going up this hill real quick. Maybe there's something over here. I think sometimes there's like hidden loot. Maybe not.
That's what killed us last time. That's why I rushed them. It was under the truck.
Oh, what? I never saw it.
Yeah, it was going crazy.
Wait, we have a flare gun. Maybe I can scare these away.
You think that's how it works?
Yes. What else is the flare gun for?
Flaring.
Be gone!
Alrighty, there was nothing.
Did it work?
No.
Oh god.
Yes, what the fuck?
You know what? Just, yeah, I think you just gotta go really fast. Let's
Get
all
in.
get in, and you just go really fast.
Oh, I'm
You
in.
ready?
I'm ready.
What the fuck?
Dist?
You okay?
What the fuck is happening?
I
Alright,
don't know.
Alright, sorry.
It's just
Let's go.
floating in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of
Like,
goats.
just full send it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
fuck these
What are they
goats.
gonna do? Stand against our truck? I don't think so. That's right.
Kind of fucked up that they can't die.
Which
Oh
way?
yeah, I
Left,
probably
right?
should have gotten revived. True.
Let's check. Stop. Let's check. Let's
Stop!
check. I'm
Okay.
checking.
It's got to be to the left.
Definitely
Left.
not
Yeah, you're
this
supposed to
way,
go
yeah.
left. Yeah, it's left. That's good. Good shit.
Just
good
can
shit.
you get off
I'm
my
coming.
dick so I can see?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Wait,
What
ice is in the way?
I I think you need to. Have
Oh, this is why you need nitroglycerin for. Do we have any? You gotta blow it away.
Oh, snow leopard!
Oh no.
No! Go away! Go away!
Go, Lepa, go.
Leave our fucking car alone.
I can't.
We need-
Oh my god. Well, we got a checkpoint. It's okay. At least we got the checkpoint.
Bro,
Okay,
Hey,
we
guys.
need-
snow
we
leopards
need
are
nitro.
fucked.
We need nitroglycerin.
Nitro.
Yeah, you know what? Well, you know
I
what the
thought we had some
nitroglycerin
in
is?
the car, didn't we?
No. Well, I'm sure
In
there
the
is
ditch in the
nitroglycerin.
area before.
Yeah, but there is more over there. There's like a jump puzzle you can pick up shit.
What's it?
I fucking.
Alright,
Did you
get
see
in,
the snow
get in.
leopard this time, Mella?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Mela? Get in.
You guys drive. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm doing the jump puzzle.
Shut
for
up and
nitroglycerin.
drive. Yeah, surely it has nitroglycerin after it.
No. There was items on the where we died.
I think we did repair stuff. The fucking cat was just going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat?
Leopard,
Yeah.
cat, same thing.
Right. Alright, watch out for the cat.
It's behind you again, by the way. It just.
Lepa?
came out
Yep,
and
it is.
spawned.
It is. It's gonna fuck you up
Oh
again.
my fucking god. What are we
Okay, I
doing,
guess
bro?
I'll- Yeah.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Okay, that's
I
fine.
think we
That's
gotta
fine.
like
Baby.
fight.
Well, we have two
we gotta-
flare
yeah.
guns.
What?
Wait, do the flare guns not
The
work on the
flare gun,
leopard?
maybe?
Leopards? Oh, do the flare guns not work? I think I was muted.
I don't know. I haven't tried them.
Okay, well, we have two. Oh, there's another one here.
Ow.
Jesus. I'm thinking
Why are
maybe
the
we
goats
turbo
gone?
this. You feeling like some turbo, Ella?
if
You
we
want to
crash
turbo
into
against the
that
bridge?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, let's
If we
fucking
crash
do it,
into
bro.
that ice, we're fucked.
I think we should turbo across the bridge.
Well, it's gonna spawn in
The
in a
one,
second.
the one on the left.
How are we gonna turbo?
Well,
Through the ice?
Yeah, through the ice. Yeah.
Okay, fuck it then.
Wait, the car didn't spawn in this time.
Yep.
That went about as well as I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
yeah.
good though. There's no leopard here.
Well, wait, no. We can repair the car. We can repair the car, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we burn the ice?
We need nitroglycerin for it.
Oh, right. That's
there
what
is
you were saying you needed
nitroglycerin.
for. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see nitroglycerin. I'm just gonna go get it.
Wait.
Hmm.
Oh, fuck.
I
we need
was-
a plank. Okay.
Wait, there's like 20 planks here. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's a ton.
Oh, idea.
Wait a sec. Can I
Wait.
just slide down?
Idea or IKEA?
Nay, fuck off.
Night.
Hey, Ella. Are you up there? Wait, Salad.
What up?
Salad, are you
What?
up there?
Yeah.
I'm throwing up a fuel. Wait, oh, I can't throw it that
Okay.
high. Damn it.
What is he doing?
What is him doing?
We just need to get the nitroglycerin over there and destroy the ice.
No, chat, you'll understand the genius of what I'm trying to do in a second, believe me.
Wins him. Wins him.
What is all this stuff here?
I'm busy.
Well,
What?
the
Oh
truck
no,
is dead.
I'm dead. Guys,
Saved it?
I think you did save it.
I need
Right,
help.
for fuck's sake, man.
Oh, I see you this.
Just trying to do something cool.
Wince
Lepa?
yourself,
How the fuck are you
Lepa.
supposed to?
You should wince yourself now.
Whoa! You guys just don't be able to wince themselves.
See?
It's
It
fucked
worked.
up.
This is dead down there.
Yeah, man.
Planks don't reach here, by the way. I tried.
Yeah, I know. I tried.
So Lepa going here is not gonna do anything.
Well, no, I have idea. I have idea.
Unless he's gonna wall ride on this shit.
Well, I guess I'm dead, Pav. Let me go use the bathroom.
No, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna get you.
It's okay. Oh.
Never mind. Bro, we have the
Listen,
nail
there
gun. We can
is
just nail the
beams.
fucking planks. We can
Yeah,
just nail
but-
the planks.
Yeah, but also that's true. But also
Wait
there's
for me,
nitro
wait for
on
me.
the other side. We can just jump, grab it, destroy the ice, and go.
Yeah, I think that's what we should
There's
do.
a hole in the fucking thing.
A hole.
I'm going to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
there's a hole beneath it. No.
No.
I going
What?
straight-
You
Am I
literally
going
just
schizo?
destroy the ice and you go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, I just want to try something.
Soon. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, there is a welding machine too.
Well, yeah, I was trying to get to it.
Because it's
Well,
like,
love to
when
do that
you
again.
wins, you wins.
What is he doing?
What
I see
the
car
fuck?
I don't know what
flying.
he's
I'm not even
doing.
there.
I don't even know what he's doing.
I'm driving
What the
and I'm
fuck
winning.
is... What is little meth doing, man?
Meth? The fuck is this supposed to be? Meth?
Neth as in nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard meth. Little meth.
Little meth. Now, if
You're a
I had
fucking little
team,
meth.
if I could have team here, that would be great.
You don't need team.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
See?
Ella.
I'm alive.
It's taking you so goddamn long to do simple tasks, guys.
Well, that's because someone keeps destroying the truck when I'm trying
Well,
to get
I
the
didn't
nitro
drive
glycerin.
into the fucking glacier
wait.
last time.
Hey, it was worth
Finally,
a shot.
The truck isn't destroyed. Hey,
But
guys,
I
look
could have
at
told
this.
you it's not
Look at
working,
this.
man.
Look, I missed.
I'm stuck between the car and the fucking mountain. Help! Just pick me up. Touch me.
Hold on.
Ella, stop wasting them, you pillar.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Help.
seeing if you can hit him from here.
Thank you.
And
Very
I'm
much
dead. Well,
appreciated, my good sir.
Is Ella dead?
we might only have one nitroglycerin left.
We don't
Wait.
need it. Just plank. Oh.
We need the nail gun for the plank,
Wait,
though,
wait,
no?
wait. I have the, I have the nail
it doesn't
gun.
get
We
far
do, that's
enough.
not gonna fit. Right, put
Guys,
put
it's
it
not
down
gonna
on the
fit.
floor. Put it down on the floor. Well,
What the
I mean,
fuck is that, Salad?
That's good.
I mean, that could work.
Yeah, he nailed it, and then you nailed another one.
You just gotta jump it.
Yeah, I mean.
All
I
right.
think that. Oh wait, no. Okay, that's gone.
Are you ready, Salad?
No. Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh my god! Holy shit, you're making this so much worse.
No, this looks good.
All right, here's the third one, Salad. You ready? 3, 2,
Yeah,
1.
Well, that's not gonna work, is it, Lapper? Come on, don't fuck it up, man. Hey, what's this, man? What we doing?
Nail it, you twat!
Oh my god.
All right, send it.
I think we just need the turbo fuel for this, to be honest.
Oh my god, you and your goddamn turbo. Get out of my fucking way. God
All right, I
damn
got
it.
the fuel ready.
I fucking hate this shit. Yo, you know what? I'm gonna pre-Vince. Pre-Vince.
Oh,
Because I know this is gonna go sideways.
What are you gonna wince to?
It's gonna go vertical, actually.
Oh, you can just do it on that. Okay. All right, no fuel.
I don't have the remote. You guys want to toss me the remote?
I'll toss you the remote.
Hang on.
Where are you?
I have an idea.
Oh, okay. Wait, just
Oh, guess I'll die.
Lepa's dead. All right, do we just
Welcome to the pit, buddy.
salad?
Yeah.
Get,
Yeah.
come inside.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Just watch this.
Okay.
There you go. See. There you
Yeah,
go. That was
yeah.
an
This
extra
is the
plank.
most
All right,
disgusting I've ever seen.
You all right?
Yeah,
get inside
I'm in.
here. I'm through the
I'm
roof.
I'm trying. Let me
One
up
more
the
board.
fucking
One more
ladder.
board on the side there.
No. We only need these. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Yeah.
All right.
I'm in.
Grab this.
I'm grabbing this.
All right. I will drive it, I guess.
Okay, this is it. Watch this.
Ella's got the perfect POV for this.
All right.
No, you gotta go a bit more left, you know?
Okay.
Back it up a little bit more left. Let me get on top of the thing. Hang on.
This is just not gonna work.
No. What, I mean, let me get on top. We'll see together. Hang on. Listen, these two just don't understand. I nearly fell off. Stop moving the car. Try to get on the fucking top.
It's barely
Okay,
moving.
Go.
Go. Okay.
Now you gotta go a bit more left. This.
Okay.
That's the only way.
Can you not wince?
It doesn't wince.
Yes, it's wincing.
I'm wincing.
You're not.
All right, just wince. Just wince.
Wins.
Yeah, I mean,
Wins.
We're going up. It's fine.
yeah, I mean, we're going up. Wait, I can get you two while I'm doing this. See you.
Okay,
Listen,
guys,
all we have to do-
just,
You guys-
just
no.
destroy the fucking ice.
Grab the nitro
You can't
glycerin
say
and
that.
we're done.
You can't say that. You fucking
Yes.
threw 4 of them and then
Wait
blew
for
yourself
me.
up.
Because I'm single playering the nitroglycerin.
No, because you're
I
dumb.
need, I know, I need help. And then you can
I
stop the
was
car
trying.
so I can hop in the fucking car.
Oh my god.
Just literally, we could be done in 30 seconds. And now I'm gonna fucking die to a goat. Yeah, but I'm not there because you left me by the checkpoint.
Oh yeah, I should be
I'm
smoking.
not even
True.
there. I'm chased by goats.
Hit the smoke, Ella. Holy speed
Oh
boost!
my god, like this is the most this is the easiest part of the map. I need one
Ella, you're
volunteer.
hindering
Oh,
those.
and there's
Alright.
the snow leopard. Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, I guess, yeah, we'll just get fucked.
Wait,
Why
what if
the
I just, what if I...
car?
We can
Why?
literally be done in 30 seconds.
Oh, you
I'm not
scared
even
it.
kidding. I am not even kidding. Okay, now I need a volunteer. Stop
This,
going
I
on
need
the
your
fucking
help.
right side.
Oh god.
This,
And
no.
I'm stuck. What the fuck is happening?
Oopsies.
See, now you fucked up. You done it.
I'm getting the turbo fuel.
This is the way. They just don't understand my
No,
artistic
this
prowess.
is the way.
Dude, just
I have
breaking the ice.
nitroglycerin
Yeah.
right
Can you
here.
not just throw
now,
it at it
I'm
right
gonna
now?
come back with it and destroy the ice.
Oh my god, I've been sitting
assuming
here
I'll make
fucking
this.
muted because it mutes you every time you start. Can you throw the nitroglycerin? Oh,
Oh,
he's dead.
fuck! Wait, I'm alive! I'm alive! I think I'm alive.
Are up, buddy.
Hey, rest me, rest me, rest me. I fucking made it, and rest me, rest me,
Ask
rest me.
nicely.
Please, rest me, please.
No.
What the hell was that? What was that? Like, we could literally be done so quick with this segment. And your hellbents are going to the right for some reason.
I'm right here with the car, man. Throw the
I'm
glycerin.
going bald. I'm
I
dead.
know.
Okay, hold on. I'm coming to you, Ella.
I'm going bald.
Oh, I'm dead.
Guys, I'm on my way.
Yeah,
to
but
you.
I'm not getting any help. That's the problem.
30 seconds. It could
You
take.
keep
Guys, I'm
running to the
coming.
right instead of just throwing me to the nitroglycerin so I can throw it on the ice and then we're done.
Keep throwing, that's for sure.
Oh my god, I'm going bald.
Yeah, you are.
Salad, get the
What does that have
fuck
to
down
do
into
with
the
this?
pit and rest me in
I am
Okay.
on my way.
You need help?
No, you fucking twat muffin. Mods ban
Get your ass
Leper.
down into the pit.
Bro, the path was done.
No, it was not. You were never gonna
Yes,
make
it
that.
was.
No,
It
it
is
was
done.
not.
Yes, it's done. Fuck you mean it ain't done?
Why
And then
are
Leper's
y'all
fucking
making
dead
this
too.
10 times more
What are you talking
complicated than
about?
it needs to be?
Were you guys
Oh,
dead?
Bro, look,
my
The
God.
bridge is basically done. You two suicided, and then Leper
Yeah, but
killed me.
I only suicided because I'm not getting any help from anyone.
No, you suicided because you're shit.
All I need is someone or with a plank. Just drop it, and then I'm good. I can destroy the ice, and done. We're done. It's
Why
done.
don't you get
so.
your own
Burying
plank?
The car. Look.
Let
the
by everyone's
car's
fucking
fine.
dead.
I know.
Get
but
your
the
own
car's
plank.
fine though.
Help!
Help.
helping.
Leper, look at how good
What
that
up?
is.
That is so. Oh my God, dude. Jesus.
That is good.
Fucking plank.
Well, yeah, because I came back to get the last one, and some Finnish cunt threw me off the fucking cliff.
Now, who would do? No, that never happened. Who would do that? Who would do such a thing to a friend?
He's gonna die
Bro,
now on the way
We
down.
thought Chained Together was gonna be the end of us. This fucking game is.
Yeah, but
This
the
is
thing
the
is,
start of
this
us.
area is so free, and you're hell bent on building fucking UK bridges that are never gonna work.
You're not getting revived now. I'm going building my bridge.
No,
Oh,
no,
I
I'm
actually
gonna.
can't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna blow up.
I
Wait, what
actually
the
can't
fuck?
revive them.
Wait, who?
I'm
wait,
gonna
what?
blow up the
Just
rest of that
press
nitroglycerin.
Q.
Why am I stuck
I
with
can't.
this?
He's stuck on me.
What the
There
fuck?
you go. Infinite RV humping. No
I
hands.
have a, no, stop!
Hands-free RV humping.
Violation!
Yeah, you're. Oh wait. Oh, there we go.
And I have a. Oh my God, the double?
No.
See, look at that.
Oh
No.
The double.
Two at
game.
once.
Oh my God.
What is going on? Wait, am I alive? Am I alive? No, I'm not. Wait, what's happening? Hello?
You almost killed me, bro.
Maybe
Yeah,
it helps.
I picked up Ella as I fell to. Oh, I'm dead.
Help!
Oh, wait,
I
no,
have
I'm
a
okay.
point to prove it.
Uh,
Why am I the only one that can't get rest when I have a point to prove it?
What is your point?
That we can be done with this in 30 seconds.
It's been like 15 minutes.
Yes,
since you
because
last
I'm
said
fucking
that.
dead.
Why?
I'm restarting checkpoints.
No, no, Salad's bridge.
here,
Think
wait,
of the
I'll,
bridge!
I will. I'll bring you to the car. You can.
The
You can
bridge
watch,
is
Ella.
so good. No, Ella, you know what? You go and get
Now?
your fucking night. Oh, you can't get nitroglycerin.
No, I
can you?
can't because I'm glitched.
Hmm. That is true. No, watch me drive on Salad's stupid ass rickety rinky dink bridge and fail, and then it's my fault that we
If
died.
this doesn't work, you guys owe me nitroglycerin, okay?
I
No,
agree.
just fucking go get it. It's that simple.
Oh, nice!
No, it's okay.
Sick.
Leper.
It's no, it's
Sick!
not. It's not.
Yes!
okay.
Alright, we're doing
What
my
the-
game plan. Mine!
Guys!
How is
Mine
it still
bridge!
alive? So you
It's,
couldn't even get to the...
whatever.
What the fuck? Did
All
you just
of that
inflate
hard
yourself?
work.
Wait, you just inflated someone. What the fuck?
Bro, why have we got inflation fetish going on here? What is this?
Wait, do you see it also?
What is happening?
What
Yes,
is
you're
going-
inflated.
Big boy.
Why am I inflated? What the
Bro
fuck?
just blew you up.
Wait, now I'm... What?
What the fuck is going on with you guys?
I
think
don't
I'm
know. This game is... Wait,
Restart
now I'm like...
checkpoint.
Now I'm not as... I lost weight now. What is happening?
Checkpoint.
Alright, just reload the checkpoint, dude. Oh, it's
Yeah,
over.
I'm reloading
It's
the
over.
fucking checkpoint. This...
Oh my god.
I went to Zempic mode in the end. What the fuck?
All right, wait for me.
All
I'm
right,
grabbing
let's
the
go.
fucking scrap. One sec.
Now, let me show you how easy and quick we could have done this.
All right, I'm getting in.
Now
Okay.
I'm making my
Wait,
bridge.
wait,
You
wait.
guys fuck
I
off.
No, fuck your bridge. My
I'm making
nitro.
my bridge.
You owe me.
I will blow
All right,
your
bridge.
nitro up.
No, dude, the nitro
Bridge
is the way.
versus Nitro. Let's go.
Yes.
Bunch of pussies.
Whichever is first, whichever is ready first, I'm going there. Right?
Yes. Great. But don't drive to the right then, because then you're gonna have to reverse. Stay in the middle. As long as I don't
You
fall
guys
down,
got
we're
nothing for
good.
me. So we're not good then.
Give me the fucking plank. Snow leopard.
Oh,
Snow
leopard!
leopard! Hammer it! Oh, I got to go.
Oh, nice.
Scared him.
Good shit.
Is he going for them now?
I'm not sure. I think it just walks off. I want these hooks, but I don't want that goat to get us.
This thing
Yeah.
is one plank.
Oh,
Dude!
fuck. Okay, hold on. Can I hammer
That was
this
half
guy?
our durability.
Fuck
planks.
off.
Dude!
Oh my god.
What the fuck? My god, this game is so dicks, man.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
Well,
All right. Well, the nitro is almost done, guys. So get ready, okay?
Nay.
Oh.
Did he
blow
fall?
himself up again?
No, I'm up here, okay? I dropped the plank on a fucking nitro. Come and rest me. I'm not even down there. I'm up on the platform.
all right.
Well, you
I'll
see-
I'll save Ella. I'll save Ella.
No.
Yes,
No.
thank
He
you.
said he wanted
All
to
I
do
need
his
is
stupid
one
thing.
teammate, and this is done. It's over.
Oh, it's fucked. It's over.
I didn't know the
I
nitro will
panicked.
blow up if you drop a plank on it.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Watch this. Fuck! I'm alive.
Bro.
We're good.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the nitro.
Okay, that's actually perfect. Though.
Yes, and then come back and with the plank. Because I got the plank already, but I blew myself up. Now
Alright.
blow up the ice and we're done. So easy. So easy.
Oh, he already
guys,
moved
like,
it to the
fall
other
down.
way. Oh
Yeah,
no.
because I didn't have any help.
Oh, no.
Now I had help from...
Wow. Look
It's
at
not
that,
even
so
fully
good.
fucking broken. Oh god.
Yeah, we need more.
We could be done so quickly, guys.
Oh
This
my God.
fucking
Yeah, let's see how the
goat.
fucking UK bridge is going. Oh my god.
It's going good. What the fuck do you mean?
No,
I
it's
believe
not.
in you, Salad.
It's literally a fucking easy bridge. Listen, Ella, just because you're a fucking pooser.
Watch this.
All right.
Watch the. Watch this. Watch this.
I'm gonna grab the other one.
It's gonna work. I'm blowing up the ice now.
I'm like,
Oh, it's done by the way.
It's
so
not.
You can go.
It's
no,
not
it's
done.
fucking not.
It's pretty much done.
I got one more. I got one
Door
more.
fell through. Yeah, one
You
more.
just want me to imagine it's not there?
Yes, exactly. It's faster than waiting for the UK bridge, at least.
Okay.
Done. Done. It's done. Reverse
you
and
go.
come
No,
this
no,
way.
No. The bridge is.
Okay,
the bridge
I'm
is done.
stealing the bus. Fuck this.
The bridge is
The
done.
plus?
I fell through the planks.
Wait, do you need me to get you?
I can't. No, I'm good. I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
good.
Hold on. We're
Oh
gonna.
my god.
We need to put a plank here,
can't believe
Lepa.
we're
Wait.
gonna be-
'Cause I think you're gonna get caught here. One sec. I'm gonna put one plank down. Are you just gonna send it? Oh, and he's dead.
No.
No, it's not. I'm
Beams.
gonna win.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
vincing. I'm vincing. I'm vincing. I'm vincing. Fuck, I can't make that. Okay, it's fine though. It's alright.
You
Let
just
me
put it
apply
on the-
Vince. Yeah.
Does anybody
Dude,
have the
fuck, I'm dead.
Okay.
Oh.
This
I just did.
God damn it! I can't get in the fucking
don't-
car, dude.
Don't do anything, Lepa, please. Please. I need to get in somehow, and if you're driving, big problem, alright? Oh, well,
Saying
fuck,
you
I
driving
guess.
is a problem, Leper. How fucked up is that?
Well, technically, I'm not driving.
Could have just waited for the plank. God fucking damn it.
What? That blank would have done nothing for this situation, though.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, if we
Alright.
went the
I'm
bridge,
gonna have
we
a
would have done
fucking
it.
In
aneurysm.
my
saying.
defense.
I'm
Dude, that
saying.
the
my
left way
defense.
is so much easier.
Yes, I can. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes.
I fell
Yeah,
after
why do you
the
keep
plank
dying?
portion.
We're
that
not
was on me.
dying
That
when
was
we
my
actually
bad.
have some health. The moment this has helped me, we made it.
Oh my god.
We're gonna die here. No, Leopard.
This fucking team.
Blair, I can hear you, Dist. Well, the goat's gonna get us.
Well, the leopard didn't
Just
spawn.
let him have
I'm
us.
not.
No, the goat. The goat.
Let him
fuck the
have
goat.
us. What's the point? Let's just sit in the corner and smoke
The
cigarettes.
leopard did spawn, by the way.
Holy shit. Okay. I'm grabbing the
Guys,
fucking
do you-
scrap.
do you-
Don't fucking drive right away.
Yeah, don't drive. Don't drive.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I just want to repair the car, man.
Oh god, I got knocked over. Yeah. Alright, I'm here.
Are you gonna repair the make your bridge, Salad?
Yeah, I'm going making my bridge.
No, use the plank to get the nitro. It's super free. You just need 2 planks and it's done. It's literally fucking done.
Something's done, alright.
Oh, I'm so tilted. This is literally the easiest segment we've ever done, and it's taking us the longest.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh.
Alright.
Man,
All right, I'm gonna scare this fucking leopard away. All right.
Yeah.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Okay.
is it?
There's no leopard here. I don't see him. He's not spawning. Now give me a fucking plank. We got 2 planks. This. Good shit.
Oh no.
I need 1 more plank. Do you have one this?
No. And I also fell through the fucking
Okay.
hole again.
I think
Yeah, you can get up. Yeah.
Wait, can you grab me?
Yeah, I can grab you. You can get up from there though, but I can. It's over here. Can you go here?
I'm like,
This way? You can jump through here.
oh, there we go. Thank you.
Nice. We need a
Do we
plank.
do we
Yeah, right
need?
here. We don't need, but it makes it a lot safer.
If you
It's
use the
reason I died
Siggies to
every time.
jump, it's fine.
Yeah, I was doing that and I failed and I don't want to do it
I
again.
should
But
Mm.
the thing is, we can just get the planks after we're done with it, so
Okay.
it's fine.
Can you get me?
Hey, can one of you get leper?
Where?
No, we're busy with the nitro right now. All right,
Yeah, but
Oh,
I'm
wait,
busy
wait,
with
wait.
my
Oh.
bridge.
Okay.
we're good.
Yeah.
King?
We're good. Okay. Hold it.
What a
We
throw.
will get lepers. We will get lepers. We're just fixing the ice. Whoa! What a throw! That
Oh,
was
yeah.
sick.
Wow.
Ella.
Shut up. Listen, I don't want to hear it. You're dead in the pit, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go res Lepa.
Okay, I'll get the other nitro.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Where is he? Oh, there. Yeah. All Gucci in the hood. Turbo fuel. Okay, we should definitely try to repair to this truck though that Lepa was going for.
Mm-hmm.
But we just used some planks and shit. Yeah, we're chilling.
All right.
What was that, Lepa?
I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm not gonna make that.
What the fuck was that noise?
You trying to fucking kill me? No! I'm getting planks for the truck.
Nice bridge salad.
Hey, it's on its way, man.
All right, looks perfect.
Lepa, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, we're good. Like, dude,
can
look
you
at
come
Salad
this way
just
just to piss
wasting
Ella
all the
off?
planks.
Can you just come this way to piss off Ella?
He's
Maybe,
just
maybe.
wasting all the planks.
What are you doing, Lepa?
I'm trying to fix the car with the
Oh,
welding torch.
okay. You know what? No, that's smart. That's smart. Oh my God, you actually made that
Fucked
jump.
up the
Holy
jump.
shit.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it.
Because I forgot to huff some Siggy last time.
No, the bridge wasn't finished. No.
Can we even reverse this thing from this point?
Yeah, that's
Should be
fine.
Lepa, I will gift you one sub if you ignore Ella's option and come my way.
No, don't go
I
that
don't do
fucking
stuff
way.
for money.
No.
I will gift you one sub.
I don't do stuff for money. Yeah.
I will sub you a different.
Oh
Hold on,
shit,
hold on.
let's
Wait,
go right!
Lepa, stop. 1 second. I am putting the winch pole on the car. Give me 1 sec. Got one more. 1 sec.
We don't need any more. There's no other holes really. If you just full send it, you're
No,
fine.
I'm not gonna fuck it up this time, Dist. You don't need to Vince anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just stick close to the mountain wall and you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
time
you're
I
good,
just
you're
slipped.
good. Yeah, you're good. Just
Oh my
go,
God.
go. Nice work. Let's go. We got
Finally,
turbo here.
God.
We got turbo.
See, I told you getting the nitroglycerin was worth it.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Salad,
Oh.
you good? Salad.
Salad's still
Leave
building the
him.
bridge.
Leave him.
I'm
There is
building my
more
bridge
turbo
whether you
fuel
like it or
down
not.
below. Do you
Suck
guys want
my
to grab
taint,
that?
Ella.
Could be good to have some turbo. You never know.
Is there a grill? I'm kind of hungry.
I'm
guys.
running
That was
ahead
a
to see if there's
perfect
any
bridge.
goats and shit.
That's a perfect bridge if I've ever seen one.
I'm going
Okay,
down to
I
grab
will
the
grill.
fuel.
I'm
Man,
running
can you
ahead
believe
to
that
see
Ella
if
wanted to
there's-
build that bridge all that time? That's crazy. You wasted so much time. Oh, I like the body gear.
Oh, this segment coming up. Jesus.
I don't think that. Oh, it's good.
More?
Do we have
Oh,
more?
good. I need more.
There were
I'm on,
nuggets.
like, halfway
There were nuggets in the center. Back there, guys.
Nuggies!
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
big
already
heal.
ate them.
Oh, you ate the nugs. All right.
I ate
Fucking
Fucking
Ella.
prick.
I had
Sorry.
no
Wastes
help.
our time and then eats all of our food.
I had waste.
Oh,
our
there's
time.
Burger.
Oh my
Don't
God.
worry.
Yo, give me the damn driver's seat. I'm out of here. Fuck this.
Don't take my seat.
Ah!
No, stop! We're grilling! Stop! A burger! God
Okay,
damn, now it's
fine.
tilted like Swedish man room. It's impossible to grill here.
I can't
The
work
next-
under these conditions.
The next,
dude.
there's no checkpoint before the next area. So, okay, listen.
Eat it.
We have to combine all 4 of our brain cells to make it. All right?
Well, I got
it's
4
scary.
quarters of our brain cells.
4 quarters, right?
Guys, 2 more burgers. Eat them.
I don't need.
I don't
any
need an
burger.
handful health.
I'm full.
Salad, you need a
Ugh.
burger.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Fucking, I'm eating
Throw
all
them in
of
the toilet. Throw them
Yeah,
in the toilet.
yeah. Throw them in the toilet.
it. What does that do?
Can you put them in the fridge?
Nothing. They just fly around in there.
Yeah.
I wish you could.
Can I go?
Sure.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, but
I
I'm not
mean,
doing
yeah.
the next driving part though. Someone else is doing that shit.
Well, no, you're the leader. You're supposed to do it.
No,
Bloody hell. What a goddamn date.
I'm
I'll
the
do it. Don't
Vincer.
worry.
I'm the
I'll do it.
Vincer. Man
I'll do
doesn't
it. I
have a
can drive.
driver's license. We're fucking dead.
I
Might as
can
well
drive.
restart checkpoint.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Hang on.
I don't think we let Sal
Yeah,
do
but
it.
maybe have a look, see what you're
Wait,
about
wait,
to
stop,
do.
stop, stop, stop.
Stop!
Jesus
stop,
fucking-
Stop. You have to
I
go
am
to the
looking.
right.
Okay,
Get
okay.
your ass out of my
I'm
face!
sorry. Dude, this
No,
is
don't
what the
go.
fuck is this? Are you sure this is?
Yes,
where-
that's what I'm saying. Do not go. Do not fucking go. All right.
Why not?
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, we need to winch it down by putting a pole behind it. So give me a
No.
pole. Yes, we do.
No, 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 no,
Yes,
no.
we do. I'm wincing.
No, 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 no. Listen.
No.
I think
No,
we
no,
do
shut-
need
shut the
to.
fuck
I
up.
think we need to double
one-
wins.
Just
Yes, we
180
winch
the
the
car.
ass.
180 the car and just put it on this tree and just winch it backwards.
No, we can't 180 the
No,
car.
that's
the
not gonna-
backside.
No.
Yet.
Listen, just go over here and put parking in.
Yeah,
Go
just
over
get to
here
the
and put
edge and
parking.
park.
We do
Just
not
stop,
need.
Stop there. Is that winch gonna
Alright,
reach?
park it.
You think?
I don't think.
pork.
I mean, I can.
You know, I could just probably send it.
No,
Okay.
no,
Right
the
there.
car's gonna
Will it-
fucking.
will
No,
it
it's
explode.
gonna
reach?
break.
Will it reach from there? Do you think? with the
Oh,
winch?
ye of little faith.
I don't know. Yeah, I think. It's hard to say.
Dude,
Yeah,
No
I
way it
fucking
good.
expects you to have a pole.
Yeah, you might. I don't know about this. How's it looking?
Uh,
Yeah, I accidentally
Why are you-
put it on here.
where we going?
Oh. Wait, what's happening?
Maybe go from here and put it
Mm.
on the tree, and then we vince down.
Could
Oh
do
yeah,
that,
that's closer. Yeah. Hang on, let
Do
me
that
grab the
instead.
winch.
Oh, there's a tree right there. Fuck. I'm trying.
What's happening?
I'm doing a thing. Trust.
Ah. Okay.
I'm right behind you. So
Yeah,
I'm
winch
trusting
this
you with
little
my
tree
life.
here, Salad.
No, the next
tree
one.
right here. Yeah.
There's a tree further
Oh,
up,
wait,
guys.
the next one?
Oh, the next one? Oh,
Yeah.
that one. Okay. My
Oh
bad,
yeah,
my
because
bad.
that's not spooky at all.
Oh my
to
god.
get
Oh my
to.
god.
Go quick before he's YOLOing it.
I am
It's
YOLO.
over.
What do you mean?
Where
You're
are
way
you?
You're
Fuck,
sideways
by
for
the way.
one.
How the fuck
Yeah.
do we take that much damage, man?
Because you're sideways on a tree.
Yeah, you're
What do you mean?
sideways on the.
No, it didn't
you
even
reverse?
crash or anything.
Do I attach the?
Yes,
I
you
can.
have.
front?
Right into the tree.
Maybe you attach the
front.
Yeah,
front.
attach the
Yeah.
front and then we winch down. Where's the
Attach.
winch controller?
The front.
I'm wincing.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna use the
descend-
remote. Yeah, I'm gonna use the
Send
remote.
leper.
I can't see behind me all that well, but
It's fine.
Yeah, you gotta.
it's
No, you
fine.
gotta rotate yourself a.
Yeah, just keep lowering. I'm at the backside.
Yeah, that way. Too much! Oh my fucking god!
Yeah. It's very sleepy. My
Okay,
boy.
okay. Woo! Oh my god. Nay,
Can
I'm
I
gonna die.
release more?
Yeah,
Yeah,
release more.
yeah,
Release
yeah.
more. Yeah. That's good.
Alright.
Okay, little
I
more.
cannot do more than this.
We need
Oh.
to fix the wheels.
Yeah. We
Well,
do,
okay.
Sure.
I,
This, do you see what I see over here? I don't
Yeah.
I don't understand what he wants us to do with all this.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
I mean, I
Can I
feel
release this Vince? I can make the Vince.
this is so fucked up.
A little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, we can just go forward.
Other. Well, yeah, just back
Can-
up a
can
little
you-
bit yourself, I guess. Like unwinch and then
You
try
need
and
to
land.
push me like so I can. I can't do anything right now, so you need to push me to the left.
Should I release the
Oh.
Vince?
Yeah, I
Don't
think if he
release
releases it, you might be able to.
No, don't
Alright.
Well, he
Nah,
has to. He can't go out any further.
Yeah.
Okay, I
can
guess
do
you-
it, yeah.
I guess I'm just
I'll
gonna.
release it now. I'm releasing
Alright.
it.
All
There
right.
we go.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, guy.
Well, this is definitely something.
Okay.
It's good,
Okay.
though, it's
Wait.
good.
We're almost
Okay,
good.
okay.
All right. Careful,
Catch
Appa.
the
Careful.
Vince. I'm throwing it down.
I mean, I can just reset it.
Oh yeah.
I cannot see the path.
Just hug to the right.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah,
I am
oh
down.
Oh my god, slow down, slow down.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
slow
that
down,
is-
slow down.
Oh, dude.
Jesus Christ,
This is
Lepa.
insane. Look at this next jump.
It's like a drop off here, Lepa. You gotta stop.
Okay, you gotta stop, Lepa. You gotta stop.
Yeah, cease.
So we need to put a winch thing in now.
Yeah, this one
I am
is like the
repairing
first one.
the.
Yeah, put a winch
I'm
in
gonna
the
try
ass
and
of
get-
the car.
I might die. I'm gonna try and get one of those winch poles.
There's 2 on top of the car.
Yeah, there's 2 on top. Yeah, it's very easy
Oh,
to
is it?
grab. Yeah.
Well, the problem is I can't climb. Here, wait. I'm
you
gonna
can do
throw
from-
you, Ella.
Okay, yeah,
Just
sure.
gonna fucking yeet him over it.
It's all good. All right, then we put a winch here, just in the back, and then we just winch it down. Oh, you can't winch here?
What
No, you
about?
can't,
What
yeah.
about? I don't think you should.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm just afraid that's
fine,
not
it's
gonna
fine,
have
it's
enough
fine.
distance.
I think it's
Well,
Like it's gonna
no,
be
it
hanging
should
in the
be.
air.
Oh, it so is.
fine. No.
Well,
wait, let me see.
no
'Cause
idea.
I put it very
Secondary
close.
idea. What if we put
Um,
the secondary winch further ahead,
Well, yeah, that's what
like
we
the
should.
second one, and then like
We need to put a
Yeah.
winch down
like
on
when
that
it's
like
happening,
nail
rock.
gun.
pull it. Yeah, I'm gonna go and try and get the other ones because we've literally just used both of ours.
Do we still have a nail gun?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Still
there is
got many things in
planks
it.
over there to the left.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
get how we're meant to
I think
get
this is
them.
fine. I think we can winch down to the platform below.
Oh,
to be honest.
Hey,
could
I
you-
can get
could
some.
you-
I can get some repair things. There's scrap down there.
Can one of you
Trust me.
two? Wait, there's 2 more winches beneath us.
Oh, there is. I can throw you one. Wait, I can just
Yeah.
climb. Can you grab me or like what?
Yeah, I can actually. That's
There you go.
crazy. What the fuck?
Okay, so here's one.
Hmm?
Wait, did you just
Should I
grab
just-
them from down there?
Yeah. You can just run down the wall.
Oh. Huh. Interesting.
Help. Don't
Yeah,
everyone
coming.
come at
Not
once.
sure.
Yep, coming.
Help. Somebody needs to stay up at all times.
Yeah, I'm staying up here.
I'm staying down here.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
I should
winch
put a
ready.
winch. I think I should put one like
Oh,
right
it's
here,
me.
Salad.
Isn't that gonna
Mm,
block the truck though if you put it in the middle?
Yeah. Well, I think you might be able to. Yeah, I don't know. What if?
Oh, there's a welding machine up down here.
I see. I don't know. Well,
Like,
I think
we-
we go
like-
down there.
Once we get over this.
Ella!
Oh my god, this
Yes?
is so cursed.
Repair!
I feel like
Repair
once it's
what?
down here, we should be able to
With
put it at the very
scrap.
least where this burger is here,
Oh.
and like it'll still reach once it's down here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. It's so weird. What even is like? I'm gonna go find where the actual way is we're going, because maybe we can like mess around a bit and try and like figure out something out depending on where we have to go.
Job's done.
Thank you.
Where's my saw?
I want to weld. Weld.
I mean, this should work.
Can you get me up?
Oh, you need help? Yeah.
Thank you.
All good.
Like I said, there's a welding machine here.
Oh.
Yeah.
How far does this winch go? I'm gonna check.
Oh yeah, we gotta go to the lift over there, isn't it?
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can.
We seem to
This
be
could
down
definitely work. Like if you,
Yeah.
we can like hang the car and then pull it towards this other one, for sure.
Yeah, as long as we don't pull like too tight, because then we're gonna rip it apart.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we can do this, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we can do it too.
I think it's fine.
It's the front winch, shouldn't it be the rear? No.
It's already winched in the rear.
Yeah.
We need someone in the driver's seat now.
I'm coming.
All right. I mean, just
Yeah.
drive it off the cliff and just like slowly, and
Yeah. I'll
make sure to pull with the the winch in reverse.
Ready. Ready. Am I doing it?
Yeah, just nice and slow.
Yeah, I'm releasing. I'm letting you go. I'm letting you go.
Ah,
Okay, I got the front hooked.
mein Gott!
Okay, it's fine.
Good Lord.
It's fine. It's fine.
That was yeah, it's
All right,
fine,
can you
it's
pull
fine, it's
forward?
actually fine. Should I pull from front?
Yeah, pull front.
The back winch is getting a bit fucked, I think. I'm a little bit worried it's gonna break. Can you release
we're-
the back winch?
Oh, Burger.
I
Can you toss me those burgers?
if it can get a little bit. Okay, wait. Hold on. I'm gonna get inside. It lets me.
I mean, I can release it, but is it fine?
I think it's fine if you release it. I can reset it.
Thank you, Salad.
Oh, fuck.
Did you release it?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna reset it.
yeah, but
Are you pulling front?
Oh, it's gonna jank.
I'm gonna remove it. Wait, which one are we removing?
I'm
The back
resetting
one?
the back one.
You're resetting the back one. Yeah, okay. Oh, there
I mean,
you
we
are.
have
Okay,
to,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you have to remove that one. And then I'll pull
Oh God!
Okay. We're alive. It's okay. All right.
Oh God. man.
Pull forward, Ella. It's fine. This is fine.
I don't know if I should because it flips up.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Maybe
I could
release it
lower
a
it
tiny bit.
down,
A tiny bit. A tiny bit.
Yeah.
And then pull. Yeah, now
Right,
go forward.
up. Oh, fuck!
My good Lord, help!
Jesus Christ. Okay, now what? We have to get it on the mountainside. If Lepa reverses, like,
You can
Shit, let me
yeah.
get down.
You can try to reverse backwards, Lepa. Just try to.
I am. Just give me
Yeah, yeah,
some
yeah.
line here, please.
Okay. Well, you just have to
Okay,
reverse
you want the
back
line?
left.
I'm
yeah,
doing
reverse
it, but
back left. Yeah.
it's very.
I think you need to go forward.
Yeah,
first,
you gotta go
though.
forward. You gotta get a
All right,
better
I'm gonna
angle.
go forward
yes,
right.
Perfect. Yes. And now you reverse towards the mountain. I'm really.
Oh. Okay, it's fine. He didn't
No, I
take
can
any
actu-
damage.
Maybe you should release me down. No. Let me go down. Let me go down just a little bit.
Go down?
Trust.
Actually,
Okay, I'll let
that
you
might
go
be
down.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be good actually. You're right.
Because I think I can climb it to the left.
Not quite sure.
I can. Trust.
Well, if
With the
this
help
is ready
of
with
Vince.
nitro,
I could nitro.
well, where do we Vince though?
Oh, you mean turbo?
Turbo, yeah.
I'm afraid you're gonna crash into the mountain wall and kill the car with it.
Trust. Now is the time
Do
to
you want
trust.
me to release?
No, don't release. Holy shit.
I release?
Wait, hold on. I can
No.
repair the car a bit. One sec.
Alright, yeah, do it. Or should I pull you up a bit before I release?
Thank you, Salad.
Should I pull you up a bit?
Maybe. Just try giving me, yeah. Maybe
Try.
lower. I don't know. I feel like my tires are not on the mountain.
Yeah.
They
They should
are.
be, though.
Okay.
How the hell did you guys get into this position?
So maybe if I release you when you turn like that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to release as he's like turning left, and I guess I could
Yeah, exactly.
I could boost it.
Can we get to the right? We
pulling
can
you up a
repair the
bit.
car over there.
Wait, I have an idea.
So
Bridge?
Is there a welding station anywhere around here?
Technically, yes.
There's a over there
Yes,
to the right.
right.
It's to the right.
yeah, there is one there. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Let's see if we can
I do
box.
have an idea.
to the right.
Is there any
Yeah, it's like
winch
over
over
this.
here?
That's a fucking vertical drop if I've ever seen one.
No.
Can you throw them?
Hang on.
Oh!
that's not
I mean, because I can climb this wall. See? The fuck was that?
Yeah,
mean-
you can.
What? Do I need the Vince? I mean,
You can actually, like, I'm releasing you now, and you're climbing
guys,
it.
I'm
So.
dead.
yeah.
Come get me.
That
How
actually
low
works.
can you get me? How low can
let
you
me
get?
see. That
I better go
sounds
way
funny.
down.
I mean, I can put a
This is
winch
as
to the
low as you
left,
get.
but there's. The problem
I
is
don't think
it's
needed.
not.
I
It's
think
not
you
gonna
can
work.
climb.
No, I can't climb now. It's too steep.
No. Yeah. So I'll pull you up.
I can't really put the winch to the left though, because I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to release it and then attach it.
I actually don't think it's gonna be needed. I think he can make it.
Should I turbo it, or no?
I mean, turbo's the only thing we can do, I think.
Okay. Well, I am ready with the turbo. If you.
But when do I release you though? Because now you're going so much.
When
in
he
the middle
has
here.
like a leftward angle, I guess, right?
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Now,
You just-
Lepa. Yeah.
no,
stay-
not now.
Maybe Lepa calls.
no.
Lepa, do you call when you want it?
I mean,
When you want
just
the release?
Give me all the line you can. All the line you can.
Okay, yeah.
Then
I'm giving
we-
you line
then-
right
then-
now.
Then we
But
turbo.
you're falling backwards.
Yeah,
You're
it's fine,
falling
because
backwards.
I need to get
Okay.
around this big rock. So, we turbo first. I'm gonna
Okay.
rev it up. Then you let go of the
Alright.
Vince. Oh, no, we need
Okay.
to reset the Vince, I think. Just full send
No,
it.
but no. I'm not sure.
Trust.
Can you
No, trust,
release it
trust.
on your own, Ella?
No,
Well,
I
I-
need to be driving. Oh, Ella?
No,
I
like
don't think
like
you
does it
can.
release the
Well-
thing? Because I can't nitro and.
No, I can release. I can go down the mountain and
Or well,
reset it.
come down
Right,
come
can
down
you
here
come
then.
Yeah.
Careful.
Guess I'll die. Yeah.
Okay, well you'll have to
Yeah, I
reset
can
it.
reset the winch right here.
Okay, so
So-
I'm ready to
Well,
turbo
I-
whenever, but you call it, I guess. It lasts for a while.
yeah, it does. All right, Ella, I want you at the hood of the car right now, so you can
Yep.
reset immediately. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
go turbo.
Okay, I'm turboing.
Release it.
Released.
It's not.
It's catching.
Come
It's
on!
catching. Just go
Come
a little bit to the
on!
left.
Go! Do we have a winch? Come on. I'm gonna go and push.
To the left.
I'm pushing it. Left! Yes!
Okay, we should probably save salad.
Yeah, we should save the salad. I'll go and do it.
All right, just wait, Lepa,
Oh.
wait. Good work, buddy. Beautiful. The turbo's so good. Let's see, is there any loot? Ooh. I got a new tape.
Supposed to Vince on the thing again.
I think we might. I wonder.
Oh my good lord. Kids of death. Oh, it's saved.
Then came a cat that killed the RV. Yeah. It's kind of a banger. Can you like, oh, there's a button in here. Let's see. Is there any other loot?
Yo, can you guys hurry it up?
up? Oh, are we gonna?
It's,
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're actually doing the intended
Yeah.
mechanic way.
We're actually gonna winch the lift?
yeah, there's
Bro,
like a
can you
button
imagine if you didn't have
inside
a
there.
winch?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, imagine if you didn't have the button on you.
Yeah.
Can you throw me
True.
up there?
Yeah,
Bro,
sure.
just
me up
fucking
there.
walk up here.
Yeah, I'll throw you up
No,
there. No
throw me
problem,
up
buddy.
there.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Wow.
There we go. Oh, I'm actually almost dead. I'm dead. Thank you.
Oh, you're still dead. Whoops. I caught you, but he still died. Is it? Do we want it winched to
Threw me
the
twice.
bottom or the top? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Ooh,
what
that's
if
a
you winch?
deep
Wait, what
mountain.
if you winch both ends to it so it's like vertical? It's like horizontal.
That is
Nah,
awful.
it's
gonna
complicated.
spin like a kebab.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
That sounds like some
We've
pussy
done
shit
this
you don't wanna
before.
do.
Let's not overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are boring. No fun.
Where were you
No
just
Mine
now?
now.
Salad?
All right, are you gonna press
Where
the button,
would he?
Sal?
I
Actually,
just-
Take a
Hoodie.
seat.
okay, yeah, I'll
collected,
take a
like,
seat.
I collected
Wait,
all of
the
these
base remote?
scrap.
Wait.
Where's
The remote, yeah.
remote?
Don't
grab it.
say you've dropped
Do you have the remote, Salad?
It's right on
No.
the wall.
Okay.
I put it
No,
there.
I was just wondering if there we had two, so I wasn't sure.
Okay, are you all in the car?
Yeah, we're all in here.
Can I push the button?
Yeah.
Bad. Lava.
Shut the fuck up.
Here we go.
Here we go!
Will you be okay? This?
Tommy.
I think so.
Oh!
Oh god.
This?
I'm okay. I'm just in the very back.
Okay.
It would be a shame if I just pressed this unwinch button.
Ah,
It would be a shame if I punched your dick.
he's probably
Don't threaten
inside.
me with a good time.
Yeah, see?
Is our distance good with the winch? I can't really see anything.
Bro,
I
you
think
guys
so.
are like so high off the ground.
Should I pull up or
Yeah, we're
lower?
very
The
high
car.
up.
Look,
You-
look,
you
look, look.
gotta,
I'm
like, lower-
turning the car.
You gotta lower us for sure.
Dude, I'm turning the car. That's insane.
This is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we
Drop.
die here, the rollback is insane. By the way.
Yeah.
No, it's saved. It's saved.
Well,
Did it?
it
Oh,
said
did it?
saved when I put in the cassette tape. I think that's what it saved.
No,
Oh.
it's fucking.
Oh,
Because we haven't got a
update.
checkpoint.
What?
There's an update for the fucking bonfire, Randa.
Can somebody check? Because I can't. I can't. Can you see?
I
Sal?
can't
Yeah,
see
how
fucking
close are we
anything.
and stuff? Well, I can kind of see. We're still above the hole. Can you lower us?
Yeah. More?
Pretty
More?
good. Yes, more. Yeah, definitely more. Definitely. As much
I'd
as you
say
can.
all you. Yeah, all you can.
Yeah,
give us.
all you can. All you can.
Okay.
Okay, stop. Stop. There we go. You can
I'm
release
getting
now.
some
Release.
grip. Are you
Oh,
sure?
wait, I
no.
can release.
I think
No,
I think
wait.
so.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't
You will
fucking
let go.
release.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Thank you, Salad.
Wait, that's scrap. Wait, no, release us. Release the winch.
I pressed release, but
I got it. I
okay.
got it. I got it.
Is there
Release,
scrap?
Like
Yeah.
makes it so. Yeah, there's
You
a
mean
bunch of
reset.
scrap. I'm
Okay.
grabbing it.
Nice. I will start hammering.
Any more? Don't see any
Are we
more.
waiting for Salad?
Still
You
no
wait,
checkpoint.
Sour. I can't do anything.
I guess we're not
fucking
gonna wait for
fall.
Salad. Okay.
I'll fall and die.
Wait for me.
You died?
No, I will fall and die. I have to fucking. I'm
Oh,
open the thing. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's why I asked. Do we wait for Salad?
Wait. Oh god, so I'm going backwards.
Do we have motor oil?
I don't think so.
use that motor oil.
Turbo
Don't.
fuel? No
No,
motor oil?
no oil.
Anything
Wait,
up
I need
in
one of you
the,
guys to
Motor
catch
oil?
me.
Open up here.
This thing
Catch
has
you?
no stairs.
Wait.
Yeah, this
Oh
thing
yeah,
has no
just
stairs.
hop down.
No,
Hop
there's
down.
What do you mean?
Bob?
Oh, snow leopard! Go!
No!
Go!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm
No
trying to put it-
fucking way! No fucking way, bro! Oh my god,
There's no way.
bruh.
Yeah.
We should have just left Salad
Oh,
behind.
why? Why did the snow leopard spawn?
We should have just left
It
Salad
literally
behind.
spawned. It spawned right next to. It literally spawned right next to us.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I refuse to take any blame for that. That's just such bad timing. Bro, that's the most bullshit thing I think I've ever
Oh
seen.
my god.
And the worst part is that the tram didn't even make it to the place it was supposed to go. I couldn't move.
That's weird. I saw you were like right
I-
next to the, like a bridge that you could like jump on.
Ow. It's. Hey, what the fuck are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Maybe.
Yeah.
The electric room was simple. Yeah. I think this one. I think we just gotta go next time after that. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that a thumbs down? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see how far we are on the map. We are. Yeah, I mean, we were pretty far before that death. Now, not so much.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. Well,
yeah.
until next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
until
fun.
next
That was really fun.
Games.
Yeah.
Thank you for the game.
Bro, thank you for the games.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
GG's.
GG guys.
GG's.
GG's.
Night,
GG's.
bye.
Ah, fuck!
Bye.
All right. Well, that was fun. It was fun. GG, everybody. All right. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, chat. I've been streaming for 10 hours. I am tired. But yeah, thank you all for watching, everybody. I am gonna go get some dinner and relax. That was fun though. 'Twas fun.